There we go. We're live.
Live?
We're live.
Gross Domesticated Podcast is live, and we got a room full of poontang. We were talking about everybody's hydrated, everybody's caffeinated. They got their teas, their coffees, their waters. Wife, you're here.
I'm here.
Hi.
Hi.
Hey. Who else do we got here?
Who else do we have here?
Yeah.
Casey.
Yeah.
Sarah.
I love that
Professional.
host energy.
Great podcast.
It's hard to tap into. It's like,
Yeah.
I feel like Bob
Like,
Barker.
wait, what?
That was rehearsed, guys.
Yeah.
Casey, you scoot over just a little bit just so we can get you perfect. Boom. Everybody's in frame and everybody's there. I'm going to share this on Facebook. So,
I'm going to share it too.
You guys were talking about moving to where were we moving?
Just moving in general.
Yeah.
Right?
What did you think? What was the house that we had the little kitty window thing, the net thing that's available? Do you know what I'm talking about?
The house that we looked at.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that is something that Casey could do?
What do you mean?
Does she know how to? Do you know how to remodel?
Yeah, I was like,
Do I strike you as somebody that knows how to do
You
that?
seem
That's
efficient.
an honor.
I don't know. You were in the services. You know.
I know, and like
By
I
the way,
love that
thank
you.
you for your
Thank you
service.
for thinking I know how to work a drill, but it was really bad. Whenever I was overseas, they immediately recognized I didn't know tools, and they would send me on dummy missions to the toolbox and be like, "Get me blah blah blah, something that doesn't exist, right?"
Give
and
me
I'm
a
standing there.
bangle.
Go get me a 10 IT idiot form. And like, I fucking just stood there and I'm like looking at wood drill bits and stuff. And I don't know real measurements. And I had a moment, I was like at war and I'm like, I don't know how to fucking read a ruler. It is
Oh,
really actually
no.
hard. Like,
In real time, you're like,
I mean, I could do a very basic level of a ruler, but
Yeah.
dead ass, like I learned over there that I can't read the ruler right. It was so embarrassing, the level that I exposed.
yeah. Okay. Fun fact. Already starting. Here it is. A dollar bill is 6 inches. Just in case if you ever need to know.
Oh,
so,
that is
ladies,
good.
That's
That is
good.
good. to
don't
know.
let them
Thank
trick you.
That's a good one.
Right.
That's a real good one.
And a dollar bill is good size, right? It's a good size. It works. And it's also a $5 bill. And it's also the same size as a $100 bill, ladies. Remember that.
Oh, there you go.
Shout out, lady. This
Uh,
is very
Go on with your fun
We are
facts.
for the ladies today.
fucking mad lady energy
estrogen.
today.
That's the energy.
Back to the cat house thing though, like that was such a good concept. Like, do you feel comfortable watching YouTube videos and like
I think
following
we
the
could.
I
steps?
think I can.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
saying.
Yeah.
Is like I feel like I thought maybe you might be able to help, but
Oh,
maybe
no, dude. I fucking
Yeah, if she can read a ruler.
if I go
don't
with
think
the
we would
drill,
know.
why does it always go? Why does it always do?
why do I strip
So
every
loud.
fucking screw?
I do it with the way they say they're like, keep it straight, apply pressure, and
Yeah, okay,
I'm
and then-
sorry if I'm doing that.
No.
No, you're good.
And then you
So
drill a hole through the thing when you try to go, and you go,
fucking
nobody
tricky.
likes that.
Nope.
Oh
Nobody
my
likes
gosh.
No,
that.
that's not an A for effort either. They don't like that. They don't think you're trying hard enough. They say the same things. I'm like, I'm fucking doing. Don't you think this is an embarrassing noise? Everybody can hear that I don't know how to do this.
Oh my god.
And then like the idea of changing the drill bit out,
Uh-huh.
I can't figure out. Like you put it in
That-
reverse,
yeah,
and I'm
and
always
then
like,
go back.
and I'm like,
Oh,
That is my biggest thing.
don't get me
Like,
started.
like
It's-
operation.
I'm pretty,
Oh, God.
I'm pretty confident
Casey.
with a drill, but it's changing the pieces.
Yeah.
fuck yeah, it's
My
hard.
husband will teach me 1,000 times. I'm like, I don't know. I don't know. Like,
Damn,
it's
so
always-
in distress. That's a very cute phase. It worked for me. I want to help you.
sometimes, if anyone knows the clip, sometimes I'll go, I'm just a baby.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I like that.
I
That
love
TikTok.
that.
Everyone's
Yes,
seen
yes,
I'm
yes.
just a baby.
And it's usually a cat video.
Yeah. Yeah, or like sometimes I'm like, if a dog won't do something, I'm like, you're just a baby. It's always that.
So is Brutus deaf?
No. Why?
Why
Because
did I
you think of the
think that?
fireworks?
Yeah, like something Manny said. I thought maybe on a Boy
No,
and a
I
Fridge,
think he was
said
just
something.
freaking out because so I for the listeners and the watchers and
Sure.
everyone.
All of our
Um,
fans.
I had a 4th of July comedy show, like backyard party
looked like
comedy
so
show
much
and
fun.
everything. It is. I knew. So I messaged everyone ahead of time. I go, listen, I have no idea. I'm like, this is gonna either be the greatest show or it's gonna be the worst shit show. I
Uh-huh.
go like. I honestly, I was expecting the worst. And I was like telling one of the other comics too. I was like, I was given like coming up to this party, I was trying to find any reason to cancel. Like, oh, neighbors don't want me to do it. Oh, gotta cancel. Oh, the weather's bad. You know what I mean? Like anything. Nothing came up. So I was like, I gotta do this now. You know what I mean? Like my neighbors are excited. Like they were like, my neighbors were like, yeah, I'm inviting people. We're excited and everything. And I was like, so I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put this on. And I even told the comics, I go, yo, if you want to bounce out, I understand. Like no hard feelings. And everyone was like, no, I'm on board.
Nothing makes me happier than when I get to cancel plans. It is the best feeling. It's one of those things where I'm like, I made these, especially the longer back I made plans. Like this today, I did forget about this. But I was like, oh yeah. So it was like, it was a pleasant surprise.
Yeah.
But if it was a situation where it was like, I agreed to work like a couple weeks ago on a day that I don't normally work.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, oh yeah, that. Or even to like, oh, I agreed to have lunch with a friend 3 months ago. And I'm like, I really like that person. I really love lunch. I like the place we're going. They're paying.
You have no reason to cancel. Yeah. No reason to cancel.
I can't do it.
Like literally
I
everything.
have to stay here.
Literally everything lined up.
Who's gonna stay here? I think I became an agoraphobe. I think I'm agoraphobic. I don't know. I don't know like if it's like fully or anything like that, but I think I might be slightly agoraphobic from COVID.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. Is that right?
You
guys are all looking at me like.
Well, no, I know I've heard it, and I think you're using it right. But I'm trying to think. Yeah, I was just
sounds
can we Wikipedia article that?
Hold on now.
That word.
Let's see how I could spell it.
Yeah, I want to see what pops up. I think you might get some kinky shit. Oh my gosh, have you guys seen on Netflix Making a Sex Room?
No.
Oh my god, you have to watch it. It is so good. It's
Making a Sex Room?
Yeah, so it's
I
this
have to remember this.
old British lady.
Of course.
And it's set up just like like Queer Eye
right?
type of thing.
I respect that.
Yeah.
Couldn't be an American.
Here we go. Up her fanny.
Cutesy, you know, like she's kinky. She like says fuck a lot and like
Come a lot. It's funny. It's so hot because she's like every once in a while it's just a stupid lizard brain thing. Maybe it's just guys, maybe it's just me, but like if any woman starts talking about cum, I haven't checked it out with like mom or anything, and I don't want to. I think that's probably the only
a variable.
exception.
We can throw that in later.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's like after everyone else. But like if any woman starts talking about cum, I'm like, damn, like that's pretty cool. Like this old bitch is just like, oh, I'm gonna teach you how to whip this woman and make her feel pleasure, and then she starts flirting with that dude. And I'm like, damn, I would watch these two fuck. Look at that. Sorry, but go on.
Define flirting. Was she like bending over in front of him? What was she doing?
There was the spanking bench episode, right? Yep. There's a weird, not a weird, it's judgment. Yeah. There's a strange.
To me.
It's like a little picnic bench. It's a little picnic bench that you like. You guys probably are. You're all shaking your head. What am I talking about? I'm mansplaining
We're
it.
stoned, dude. This is stone cast. Like we don't have faces. I promise. I'm just really intently listening, and my face does a thing when.
So this is resting high face.
Yeah, like I am on board.
So it's like they have this. What do they call it? St. Michael's cross, or something like that. There's this X thing that X gonna give it to you. It's like you can be shackled.
You're like, let me stretch you because that's sexy.
Yeah,
it comes in this big crate that says exercise equipment, and then they're like, oh, that's for subtlety, and then they take it out on the front lawn of these people's house. And they start like going like, oh, this is how you use it, and spank me, blah blah blah. And she's like
straddling this bench.
Yeah,
and he's behind the contractor is like spanking her.
Well, his son's there too.
And the contractor's son
is
like,
buzzkill.
I don't think mom's gonna like this.
Oh no!
Oh my god!
No.
You know what it's like? It's like
funny.
It's like it's like a super tame. It's like what Queer Eye meets Real Sex.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like, did you guys ever watch Real Sex when you were younger? Or
on Spice Channel.
I feel like I know.
I think it was HBO.
Like,
Spice Channel.
It was HBO.
Real Sex is a
and they,
the series, like Real Sex 16.
That's where they were just on the street and would ask questions, right?
It's like so they would do like a man on the street or lady on the street, and they'd go like, what do you, like they talk to couples. They're like, what are some stuff you guys are into? And it's like kind of the same idea. Like, what are your kinks? What are your things? And then like they would do a special on like people that do that stuff. Like so nude body painters or like tantric sex or stuff like that. And as like a 12-year-old, I'm just like and also kind of the faces you guys were making earlier.
Did you get the agoraphobe?
Okay,
did we find out
I
what
have
that
agoraphobe. It's I like how Casey's like, all right, let's talk about
No,
something.
dude, I know how that came across, but sometimes I have all about the business energy, and it's not needed.
No, it helps.
You like to hang up the
Stay
phone.
on
Yeah,
path.
this is good
Oh,
production.
I like to
This is
hang
good
up the
production.
phone.
Yeah.
Cracks me up.
So there's agoraphobia is a fear of being in situations where escape might be difficult or that help wouldn't be available if things go wrong. So many people assume agoraphobia is simply a fear of open spaces, but it's actually more complex condition. Someone with agoraphobia may be scared of traveling or public transport. I'm more
Okay,
like
I
that.
definitely have that 100%. Like
right?
I do, I don't know
Right?
if it's that or the fact that I've watched Burn Notice 1,000 times, but I'm always looking for an exit
That'll
strategy.
give you a problem.
You know
Yeah,
what I
that'll
mean?
give you a complex.
That's actually
Oh,
very
yeah.
smart. I like that.
Yeah.
Right.
Who wouldn't like what? How would you get out if you had to get out of this room? If we had a fire at the steps, so the steps aren't an option.
Facepalm.
Push us into the
Yeah.
fire.
I'd go out
No,
that
here,
window
flip
because the fire escape. You
Okay.
could just. It would
Good.
be easy to the
Oh,
fire.
is it?
I saw there was a window.
Yeah,
We
you have
should
no
have
sense
I
of
do have
direction.
closed toe
So you
shoes.
need to
I'm
follow
kicking
me.
it out. Yeah. I was already like once when I was little. So there's like, I remember. Okay, so this is wild. So like when I was little, like I was like that joke. I'm like I was seriously terrified of Chucky's, like the Child's Play, like Chucky doll,
Yeah.
and everything. And we randomly had a Chucky doll. Now it wasn't like a real thing. It was like mostly stuffed and everything. Like only the head was like hard.
Okay,
and
yeah,
everything.
yeah,
But
yeah.
you know what I mean? Like obviously this thing is like gonna. Like it can't even stand, you know what I mean? Like, but it's still, it's like weird how you're
She's
like,
a
oh, I'm
Cabbage Patch.
terrified
We
of this.
fucking
and
loved
we
it,
have
okay?
it. Yeah. Yeah. He was family, okay. But like a little kid, like so I shared a bedroom with my little sister, and like going to the bathroom, it's like right down the hall, and I would like doors open, light shutting out, dark hallway, and I'm thinking in my head I'm thinking, all right, if the Chucky doll runs into the bedroom, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna throw him across the wall. Take Emma and bust the window and go out. Like, you know what I
That's
mean?
smart.
Like, so from a very young age,
Bust
like
the
going out the
window.
window has always been an option. Like, I'm not afraid to go through a window.
Yeah, I guess like going through a window, your adrenaline pumps. Like
Oh,
you
yeah.
really
Yeah, that's why I
don't
feel like I
anything.
wouldn't
anything.
feel it. Yeah.
Yeah, your
If you did get
instincts just
cut,
kick in.
Yeah, you'll feel it on the back end, but
Yeah.
just
Didn't you
real
have-
quick.
Didn't
I
you
mean,
have
that could be the burn notice too.
Is that a
I'm
show?
like,
I've heard of
oh my
that
god!
show.
So it's
Should-
like it's a spy who gets like if a spy gets fired, they
Okay.
get burned.
Oh.
And it's like you get a burn notice, like
Oh.
and it's like they just take your resources away because like you can't take away their fighting ability. They know how to fight, they know how to do
Yeah,
all this stuff,
yeah,
but it's
yeah.
like
Can't take the knowledge.
yeah, like you're just planted there, and it's in Miami. Jeffrey Donovan plays Michael Weston.
Oh, should I watch the show?
Oh my
Like,
god, that full on
I think
show.
I slept on Burn Notice. Is it from a while
I
ago?
think
A long
I
time
know
ago,
what you're
yeah.
talking about, but I didn't
Like
get into
USA, it was on USA.
Yeah,
yeah.
It does sound like a USA
Yeah,
thing.
it
I
is
was
a
like,
USA
I
Dude,
think
it's the
like
best. And Bruce
Okay.
Campbell like played a Navy SEAL friend and everything. And there was like this Irish girl named Fiona, and she was like more of like the gun like she was like into guns and
yeah, yeah,
explosions and everything. And yeah, I don't know, like dude, like you learn so much because they're like they teach you like little things. They're like, hey, the first episode, they're like, hey, if you're gonna get into a fight, do it in the bathroom because everything's really hard in there, and you can just. And I'm like, all right,
Oh, yeah. That's,
dude, I'm
that's
ready.
useful
Like I'm
knowledge.
ready for
no,
any
I'm like
situation.
such a worrier. I'm like, you could get hurt in there. I don't think we
Most
should
likely
fight
you're just gonna
anymore.
find a
No.
girl crying in there. You know,
Yeah.
you're not gonna find a fight.
True. I think once you hit like a certain level, like I've like learned that a lot of people have weapons on them. Not too many people are gonna fight you these days. Like it's not even worth it to get. I just think
Mhm,
people have like weapons, like knives and
Because
shit.
everyone's
Like
so
just always
anxious.
ready
Ugh.
to like
Yeah.
stab
I
somebody.
do
or,
have
like
a pocket knife.
Do you?
It's in my purse. but
Yeah, like a lot
Pat
of people carry a
used to,
weapon.
and then he started doing jujitsu, and then he stopped carrying it.
yeah. He's
Or
like,
Well,
that.
actually-
these are my
You're actually
knives.
a weapon. Like your body's a weapon.
Mhm.
That,
My
like,
body
you're
is a weapon,
You're
yeah.
a trained fighter.
I think
Do you still carry it? You don't carry it.
I
haven't noticed.
anytime I go to like a public area now, just because of all of the mass chaos,
Yes.
I do. but that's only because that's like the equivalent of some pussy ass motherfucker putting a gun on their hip when they will go outside or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if there's like somebody that goes like, I need this to survive. It's like the same idea of like, okay, well, if they need that, then I probably need this.
That's true.
It's one of those things. If like, it's still like, I can still probably close the distance, hopefully with somebody with a gun. But then what do I do when I get there? Like, I still have to neutralize it. And if I need to, I'm going to do it smarter, not harder.
There you go.
And it's also one of those things of like, that feels like more personal. If I want somebody to die, I better want them to die enough that I'm going to fucking kill the fuck out of them. Like, that's my thing is like,
I would hope so.
I don't want to kill somebody. So I want it to be as personal as possible. I want to see the blood on my hand. Do you know what I'm saying?
No.
Like, yeah,
That sounds very primal. That
Yeah.
we talk about lizard brain.
one of
I
those
think
things
that
of,
came
like,
from a real place.
It's one of those
Some
things.
savagery shit.
If I'm going to fucking kill somebody, if I'm going to get to that point where I need to end this person's fucking existence, I need some fucking like proof of it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to go like,
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying.
I got you,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. I was like, do you want to murder
no,
someone?
no. I'm just
Honey.
saying if I have the option.
I see
Yeah,
what
if
you're
I have the option.
Pat, we're
I
gonna
want-
talk after the
Yes.
podcast.
Hold on.
You learn.
Is this
like,
an
as
admission of
you're-
guilt?
You've been in your relationship for so long. Like, do you guys still learn new stuff about
Oh,
each
yeah.
other?
She
Is
just
it-
learned I want to kill somebody.
I mean, that was definitely one thing. I was like,
I
oh my
think
god,
what
is this
it
a
is-
breakthrough?
I think what it is like you just grow together.
Oh,
So
yes.
like I'm changed. I am not the person I was like at all. So then you discover new things, and then he will do the same thing. So just kind of you're always not reinventing yourself, but you're always growing. So you're always
Sure.
learning about each other.
Or sometimes, like with me and my husband, I'll be like, "Oh no, Mark, something randomly happened, and I thought of like a childhood trauma. And now I'm sad about this.
Yeah.
Like I was like, now we have to watch out." No. Like sometimes that happens. I'm like, "Oh, I didn't know that affected me. Oh, it did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm like, all right,
then-
now we got to deal with this."
Yeah, that's the thing. Is you discover it, then you let them know, hey, I just discovered something.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh wow, okay, all right. Well, now we should
Isn't it weird when
probably
that comes
do
up in
that
like in a
differently.
calming way? Like I
Yeah.
think I've realized this enough where I'm like, oh yeah, like I just thought about this and I started crying instantly.
Yeah.
That's not good.
But that's you like being able to be like, oh, like self-aware, and then you go, why did that just happen?
Yes, yeah.
And then you connect the dot and go, oh, okay, that makes sense. But it was in the past. Now I move forward.
yeah.
And it may happen again, but then you can just move past it really quickly.
yeah. And then I'm like, Mark, no more oranges. He's
Yeah.
like, what? I'm like, how did oranges affect you?
Oh my gosh, that happens to me all the time.
Yeah, I do get those. And it's like weird that they have popped up this late in life. And it's like, where were those like core memories tucked in there? And like, that was so funny when you said immediate tears. That's so funny.
But it's
That's
half true.
super-
Yeah.
yeah,
Like,
that
it's
is
like, you know what I
super
mean? You're like,
relatable,
yeah.
right?
I'd say
But
so.
it is
Pat's
for
like,
him.
"Oh, they're
It
all
is
gonna start
for him.
crying here.
Yeah.
His is
We're going to
anger.
start
Yeah, we're on a fucking
cycling
slippery
together.
slope here,
Yeah,
ladies.
yeah.
We are live. Don't want to embarrass ourselves, right, guys? We're having a good time.
I know. Here's girls giggling. It's like giggly squad.
So much
You're
fun.
so fucked.
No, I think
His emotion, his aren't tears. It's just anger, and that's why you're talking about.
killing people.
Yeah, like okay, all right, yep,
All right.
I
Killing-
can see that.
Killing someone that's trying to kill me or someone I love.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
that's what it is.
That's
Even
just
my
burn
stuff.
notice. That's just
Yeah.
it's survival. It's
Exactly.
just survival. Yeah.
it's just burn.
Watch USA every once in a while, okay?
Okay. Got it.
Jeez, fucking burn notice, okay? I'm on board with burn notice now. She
Yeah,
said Bruce
yeah.
Campbell, and I was like, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Oh my
that's-
gosh.
That was a show. I think that may have been at the ass end of when I was watching wrestling. Maybe was that maybe?
Maybe.
I don't
yeah.
know how like when that started or anything. I'll look it up.
Yeah. there
Yeah,
you
look
go.
it up.
There we go.
Fun fact: Brutus is named after Bruce Campbell, but
Nice.
with pets, you always need, especially for a dog. I
That
think you
was
need two
upsetting, I know.
syllables,
Yeah.
like Brutus, you know, so I can
Yeah,
yell out
yeah.
and everything. So yeah, that's so he was named after Bruce Campbell, but Brutus. You
Yeah,
know.
I would not be. It was 2007 when it started, so I was not
Okay.
watching wrestling still. But there was a.
It was a weird age of TV because no one was really watching. Like I remember watching it when I came home from school because it was randomly on, and I was like, oh, this is like a
Yeah.
Yeah.
like a all right, you know. And when we had like a streaming service, I was like, oh, Mark, I remember watching the show. This is pretty good. And then he just Like every so years, he's like, I gotta rewatch it. Like, you know what I mean? It's
It's
like
that
one of
good?
those.
Yeah,
Like,
I like
Really?
those.
Yeah.
Wow. Burn Notice.
Yeah.
What
Mark
I love is
really
when
wants
you-
to be a spy. Like really bad.
My
That's
dad,
so funny.
my dad would be against cop shows because he would call them all cop shows. And
Well, this is not a cop show. This is Burn Notice.
Yeah. Spy.
But
But
it's
spy
spies.
is not cop. I would agree, but I think he would categorize
Like
the way he
detective
says
shows,
it.
Yeah.
like that stuff. or
Yeah,
like-
he says cop show, and he said they always win in the end. So
Yeah.
it becomes like
Procedural.
a lot. Yeah, he was like, if you
Yeah,
know
that
they
is true.
always
Yeah.
win, it's like it loses its zhuzh.
Yeah.
But what you're describing isn't that. So that sounds good. Like
a lot of my family would watch.
That's why Law and Order was so good.
Well,
Yeah.
Because it wouldn't always end.
the happy ending.
Yeah.
And you would
didn't
learn
always get
also,
that.
like sometimes you would learn like, oh, evidence can be spoiled if
Yeah.
this happened or
Yeah.
something. You know what
Right,
I mean?
right.
Like,
Gets his hands on it.
yeah.
Like,
know? You're going to jail. I've got the suspect in my custody. That's what it is. I feel like Law and Order was the start of those, and then like NCIS and all the not the start, I guess, probably, but
well,
of
no,
those
I think
shows,
so.
of
I
those
think, yeah,
types,
for sure.
where it's gonna be super brutal like things, and it's gonna be the same thing every week, pretty much, but
Yeah.
but like 50-50 at the end. It'll be
Yeah.
like they get off or they get caught. That's it. And it's in each Law and Order. It's so funny that like because my brother, what's the one that Cricket loved? He watched all the time. NCIS, is that the one?
I did
yeah,
watch
I think
that.
that's the Navy one,
NCIS?
right?
I liked not. Yep, that's the Navy one.
Jag.
I got down with that.
Jag is another one. That was like my aunt watched Jag, or like somebody else, and it's like one of those things where like you're watching it and you're like, it's the same idea that I had with Walker Texas Ranger.
That's a good example.
Right?
That's a great example.
It's
That's
not
so
a
funny.
bad show, really. I guess it's not great, you
Yeah.
know, but it's also like it ain't hurting anybody. We're having a good time, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like it's not offensively bad.
yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I don't think Burn notices that. I think they had like a budget, right?
I'm sure. I don't know.
Oh, you love it.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
It's a
What was the show that
It's a great
this
one.
is like
Oh,
not
sorry.
me trying to drive the show, I promise. But you said you wanted to talk about a show. What
Oh,
was it?
Thank you very much.
Sorry.
no,
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
should feel
say
like a
that.
producer.
This
You
is-
did say that. I couldn't help it.
I
It was
appreciate
show
it.
talk.
It's a show that has been on. We started watching it in season 8 on Netflix. I don't know if that's when it first came to it or it's the
Yeah,
first.
That's one of the
That was the first one. That
Yeah.
because and they take that one off and then they put 9 on,
Oh.
which is crazy. I
Oh,
don't know why
swap.
they don't. Yeah,
Oh,
they let the other
yeah.
one expire and then they got the 9th season. We watched that, and then she's like,
maybe it costs too much money to like hold the whole catalog.
maybe, yeah, I think that's what it is.
Their
like, to have
external
the
hard
rights.
drive's
Yeah.
getting full. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Netflix is pretty expensive. So, but it's the show Alone. Have you ever seen the show?
Oh, I've been
Alone?
hearing about Alone.
It's,
Well, it's number 2 in the United States on
Yeah.
Netflix.
Is it?
Oh
Okay.
wow.
It like but
just
it's
like
been
the
on-
mullet,
Actually,
ahead of my time.
there it
You
is.
were mad ahead. You did it a whole year before, and then I started seeing it everywhere, like you said.
I'm telling
Yeah.
you. But Alone is like it's just a show where a person, the first year they got rid of it real quick was all men, but the second year
yeah.
when 6 of them tapped out, like in like 4 or like within like the first week or something like that, they were like, all right, we're done. But the concept is a person gets put out in the middle, a survivalist usually gets put out in the middle of nowhere. I think the first 2 seasons are Vancouver Island, but they switch it up. The last season was Grizzly
2015.
Mountain, 2015 when it
Yeah,
started.
is when it started.
Wow.
Not yeah, I thought it was
Well,
longer than
it's
that.
super easy.
It
like,
sounds really
as
interesting.
far as
It's
production,
so good.
it's super easy, right? So it takes a lot of elements out of a lot of different shows, and it's competition for $500,000. 10 people in separate parts of this
Wilderness, wherever.
secluded
Yeah.
land in Pacific Northwest. So this is Vancouver Island is the first 2 seasons, and they just put them out in the middle of the wilderness with 10 survival items of their choice, of a list that they have, approved
love
list
that they
This-
choose
this
from.
is
Yeah.
that
fun.
they choose from, and then they have to. It's the last man standing wins $500,000.
And they have to hunt all their
You
food.
have to live
Yeah,
off the
like,
land. You have to fucking
nothing.
have
I
fire,
feel like
shelter.
I've heard it. Okay, so
I have heard
I
this.
definitely have heard of this.
It's on
okay.
History Channel.
The
I
best
believe.
part is you're all by yourself.
Oh wow.
They have to
Scary.
do all the production by themselves. They
Yeah,
would
because
love
they don't
to have you
a
around.
camera. They don't have
Yeah.
a
Is
camera.
it just like a lot of GoPros and this?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
stuff.
They have to set up the thing, walk
they
across.
teach them
Yeah.
how to use the equipment and then like what to take with you and all of that. So,
Waterproof.
but you're out there trying to survive and you're hunting.
Okay.
You have to carry the cameras with you, set it up, and then start hunting, and you have to like get it on camera. So it's a lot. Like you're not only just surviving, you have to
make it
produce
showboaty.
You're a producer. I hope
Yeah.
they give them an
And-
extra incentive for that.
Yeah.
Like they
Well,
still get
but
paid if they
that's-
don't make it.
That's what I thought. Like you should get a producer. Like
Yeah,
that was my thought. Was like you're producing this content for them.
Well, one of the kids, or whatever, a guy's kid told him, do really cool stuff so they show you a lot. And I was
Yeah.
like, that kid is so smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he made it. No.
They call that main character energy. You have to have fucking main character energy.
I don't know what that is. Clearly, I am not a main character at all. I'm support for sure.
Oh, I'm going
I
to
thought it
watch
was-
this. I
it's
love
so good.
reality TV. I'm such a sucker. And
Oh,
the
me
bet
too.
like
I
I
love
love
it.
Ultimate Fighter. Do you ever watch
Yeah.
that one?
Oh yeah. Have you been watching the most recent season?
I just got ESPN Plus with my bundle with Disney
Mhm.
so I could watch it because the fight's coming up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Are you gonna watch that here?
I think I might actually. I think that's gonna be. I was planning on ordering. I try to
One
order.
tomorrow.
No. The one tomorrow is at 2:00. I get to watch it before the show. It's gonna be tomorrow's gonna be a good day.
Yeah.
Tomorrow's gonna be a Pat self-care day.
That's
Pat's
nice.
gonna wake up. He's gonna drink coffee. He's gonna hit the vape pen, and he's gonna watch UFC at
You
like
should
11
like clip
o'clock.
your toenails.
Put a face
if
mask
I hadn't
on.
already, Casey, I would.
He does that before jujitsu in the morning.
Yeah.
You're very that's a nice thing to do for your opponent.
Yeah.
You could like get away with some little swipes if you wanted to fucking
I do. I play a
That
game
one
where
sharp toe knife.
fuck yeah.
yeah, that's
It's
I
totally-
play a lockdown game. So like I wrap my legs like this. So if I have my feet like this, I could definitely fuck them up with toenails, but I don't.
I just heard on a podcast today about having Tiger Balm on your person. And like that's been like a thing that players have done that's real dirty where let's say you're lining up on another lineman in like a football play and you make contact and you fucking smear it in their eye.
Doesn't make it. It's like
What
it's
is
like
it?
it's
Is
like
that
a fucking-
rubbing-
it's like Vicks.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
like
yeah.
some fuck. It's
Ooh.
actually
Right?
worse than Ben Gay. So like Ben Gay will
Yeah,
be like
yeah,
the
Yeah.
I keep wanting to say aloe menthol.
Yeah.
Yeah,
menthol.
Yeah, it's like
Menthol.
menthol to your
Yeah.
eye.
So I would
Ooh,
say
that is shitty.
That's dirty.
yeah. I don't think like I like the fact that they use the stuff like when like the fighters are going in the thing they use the grease or like Vaseline. I found out
Oh, yeah,
later
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Did you know why they use stuff like that?
So it doesn't
The
cut your
shot.
skin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
didn't
Oh, I
realize
thought
that.
it was like something for like the shadow. Like you don't get like
Oh,
like, when
that's
the
for
sun hits your eyes.
that's for football.
That's
oh,
what I
okay,
thought,
okay,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah. The
I just
black
had
under.
a fucking breakthrough with what you just said though. You're getting
Yeah.
slippery palms regardless. If you
Leather
touch
gloves.
Vaseline.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So the whole fight, you're slippery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can't hold on to the guy like you want to. And it's like
Yeah.
you're watching the fight later and you're like, I fucking lost because I was slippy, man. I can't
So-
fucking-
So that was the thing. You're watching the Ultimate Fighter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. Like that's one of the reality shows that I'll watch. I'll
Mhm.
like revisit or I'll check out like the older seasons and stuff because it's kind of evergreen. Like
Yeah.
the attitude. I don't like the drama part of it by any means, but I like watching the breakthroughs in training.
Sure.
You will like to see like it's so weird to say like I really enjoy watching the men work out.
That
And then-
sentence is a clip. To get a bite.
And then I like to watch the men grapple. Okay.
Do you
No,
learn a lot by
I
watching it?
it's like not really, but like more of like with like teaching. There was one season with Brian Ortega and Alex Volkanovsky.
Okay.
I think that was last season. And he said, like, think about it. Like one of the guys was saying, like, I'm trying to teach you everything I know. He's like, I'm trying to teach you. Imagine like, and this is this is how I was made to understand this this concept. He said, imagine it's like a pizza. Let's imagine I have a whole pizza and I'm trying to feed you the pizza. If I try to feed you all of the pizza all at once, it's not going to work. I have to feed you one piece, one bite at a time. And I was like, yeah, that's why I suck right now. So I think there's
That's
a
a
lot
good
of concepts I
analogy.
can,
Yeah, that
there
is
is
good.
stuff
Yeah.
I can get out of it. But for the most part, I like when they do like a challenge, it's cool, I guess.
Mhm.
But for the most part, I just like watching the fights. I like the fact that it's about the same length as a regular fight camp.
Okay.
But in that time, you could fight multiple times. You should fight multiple times. You're away from your family. You're living with the people you're fighting.
That's weird. And
And
that's where
yeah.
the drama comes
That's
in.
the drama I like. That's the drama
we
you
like
don't
the
see.
drama.
That drama.
I'm here for the
Not
character
the-
dedication. I love a good character dedication
Okay,
because
yeah.
like they'll do
Uh-huh.
the background story, and I'm like, oh, that guy's a single dad.
Yeah.
And like I get my
Yeah.
They live in
heartstrings
like,
pulled.
and they see it, and you just like see their apartment and stuff, and they're like, I'm just trying to get out of here and just get the better life for my daughter. And you're like, yeah,
Yeah, like I hope he goes the whole way. And I like don't know. I'm like guy with the tattoos. Like you know how you like
Yeah.
slowly learn their
yeah.
names and stuff. But the Nunez Pena, who do you think's gonna take this rematch?
Ah, very interesting. I would say I don't see why Juliana Jesus Christ, Juliana. I was putting the Spanish stuff on the wrong name.
You combine the names. I actually like
Pena?
that name.
And
Florida guy.
Nunez. I was saying Nunez for the longest time, and they're like, no, it's Nunez. And I was like, oh, sorry. But it's I think there's no reason why Pena couldn't take the second fight, but I just don't know. Like, I don't. It goes with the same idea that's kind of going with Conor McGregor. Like, what's the drive? A lot of time, and I don't think you realize that you've lost the drive until it's like too late.
Oh.
So I think the reason why, like, the Amanda Nunes is an incredible fighter that could win any fight. I think any fight that she's in against most men, even, I'm sure.
Yeah, she's been taking bitches down,
Right.
getting multiple belts. I don't know a lot, but I pay attention to the women. ones.
She's incredible. Like,
Yeah.
she's not a fan, but like she
Think
was a
has
huge
bad attitude.
she was a huge Ronda Rousey
Yeah.
fan,
Me too. That was very hard on
and
me.
she demolished her.
Well, I
Yeah.
hated Holly Holmes. I was like,
She
Oh,
hates
I
her too.
still hate her.
Oh yeah, but
I
she's
still
an
hate her.
excellent fighter. I can't deny it. But I'm like, this mom,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
she's like mom face. I'm like, I fucking hate this
Yeah.
mom
That
face
was a
bitch.
bad night.
I got a little weepy too.
Yeah.
It
Now
was
she
rough
knows
on
how
me.
I felt with Anderson Silva. Like, that was what I told her literally after that. I was like, that's what I felt when I saw Anderson Silva get knocked out by Chris Weidman.
Sure.
I almost cried, and I don't cry.
Remember that time you almost passed out because you watched Tom Segura fall? Like,
Yeah.
I always
Oh,
was waiting for
not
you to
I did
say.
pass
almost.
out.
He passed out. I was like,
Damn.
oh, that was the scariest.
It's like a
Speaking of
blood
Anderson-
pressure thing.
Yeah, it's like a weird.
Yeah.
Any,
Yeah.
I-
You're getting all faint.
He was like, oh my god.
that's something I'm learning as I get older too. Is like, oh, I'm not as into bones breaking anymore. But I think there's no reason why Amanda Nunes wouldn't be able to win as well. But I think as far as like drive, like, I think it's just a lot of work. She's got a fucking kid. I think she's happy. And I'm not saying that she doesn't have the
just like a
ability. I just
distraction,
I can't remember. I think it was, I'm gonna say Marvin Hagler. I'm gonna look it up, but it was a boxer that said it's hard to wake up in the morning. It's hard to wake up at 5 a.m. when you're sleeping in silk sheets.
Ah.
And it's like one of those things of like,
He's
she's
made
been
the money.
champ for a
Yeah.
long time.
Damn.
Champ.
Yeah, yeah.
That's true.
This
Yeah.
champ.
She still is the champion of another division. So it's like,
Yeah.
you know, like, she's gonna be like, I don't care about that one. But I've said that about the Stanley Cup. The Stanley Cup was the third year in a row the Tampa Bay Lightning made it to the Stanley Cup Finals, and all but 5 people on that team, I think, had won a Stanley Cup.
Okay.
So I'm just like, I was like, I don't know if that's enough to, because like a lot of the
right.
other
I know
guys
exactly what
have
you're
won
saying.
2 in a row, and they're probably tired.
Yeah.
They've
Yeah.
played
They
the
are.
most hockey out of all
Yeah.
of the other teams.
In the last
Yeah.
2 years.
Yeah. So like, they're fucking exhausted, and how hard is it to dig down deep again
Yeah.
for another game 6 elimination again? And
yeah.
it's like, dude, you did enough.
Yeah.
Rest.
Yeah.
Try to get some rest because the season's going to start in a couple months.
Yeah. 88 days.
Yeah.
As
88
of today.
days.
88 days.
Dang, you get so much.
Yeah.
You get a lot of hockey. There's a lot. That's
Yeah.
like very enjoyable.
So it's the same idea. Like, they're fucking killing it for so long. Is it boring? Are you tired of, like, where's the motivation?
You know,
aside
they
from,
do say that like rappers are good in the beginning because they're talking about the hustle,
Yeah.
but then
Yeah.
like after they're all like, I got $1 million and bitches everywhere. It's like the average person doesn't have that.
A lot of
you know what I mean?
comics.
So they're unrelatable.
a lot of
Yeah.
comics, you don't realize, like, the first couple times you're seeing them, you're realizing now, oh, they've been doing these jokes for like 14, 12 years. Like, sometimes
Yeah.
like they've been doing open mics, they've been doing this, they've been working on these jokes, this
Yeah.
set
yeah, absolutely.
forever.
Yeah.
They put that out, and then they start working on new jokes, and you're like,
But that first one
Yeah.
was so good, and you're like, and now everyone's like, oh, we want to see you, and then it's like, fuck, I got to do another hour in
Yeah.
a year.
Yes.
But
That
then-
took me 10 years to make.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
So, like,
It's a lot of pressure.
But obviously, you're better at joke writing, and it shouldn't take you another 10 years. But it's
well,
like,
Louis
holy
C.K.
shit.
put out a bad standard with that 1 year.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
the first guy to do that, and then everybody thought they had to do what he did. But that's really not the.
Well-
You would be rushing out, I think, bad material if
Yeah.
you wrote a whole new hour every year.
yeah,
And there's
And
Oh,
a lot of
yeah.
they got
other-
it. There's a terrible trend.
a lot of other streams of content that you could put out. You could put out like stuff like you could do podcasts, you could do sitcom writing, whatever other things you could write for other comics and stuff. Like there's other like lanes that are available for a lot of people. I feel like that they do get into that thing where like I have to put this. Now the thing is putting out a YouTube special and then putting out a like
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, guys, I've always heard that with comedy you could do anything. It was kind of like there were some rules, but there were, for the most part, like
it's really
it's-
repetition. That's the rule. I
well,
feel
like I've heard
You
of
just gotta
so
keep
many
doing it.
fucking rules, and it's like, but I thought, and then people are like, guys, you could just put out a special on YouTube, and like, yeah, YouTube's been out forever.
Yeah.
You do that the whole time. It's just
And
people were paying you before.
it's these reels now. So like, let's say you put on a special, and then you make some really
Hi,
sick
Manny.
reels.
Sorry, Manny said, "What's up, dorks?"
What's
Hello.
up, man?
Oh, and I'm sorry, Avery said that. Sorry, this was a couple topics ago. The Chicago PD shows acting is
Yeah.
well above par. Fuck off. All of the Chicago shows suck, Avery.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Yeah, trying to intertwine them all in one day. Stop.
Fuck
Yeah.
Chicago. Sorry.
Oh my god.
Chicago.
I like that.
Chicago.
I
Yeah, the
apologize.
Chicago. I'm not good with accents. I wish I
No.
was. Can you do an accent?
No. Not at all.
She's really good at Chicago. Yeah.
Can you tap into your Florida? Like when you go down south, do you start speaking more southy?
She never really had that like a draw.
My dad's family was from New York, and my mom's family is from New England.
Oh.
So
More of
if
that. Yeah, she had-
anything, I'll tap a little into New England.
what does that sound like? Is that Boston?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Boston,
New England.
New
I can't-
England, New Hampshire.
Yeah. So no R's or like,
Yeah.
you gotta
Yeah,
just drop
yeah,
all
yeah,
your
yeah.
R's. Okay.
You just kind of sound like a little dumber.
But there really
Pissa.
isn't a Florida accent because
Yeah.
it's such a melting pot of
That's
things
true.
happening.
Yeah. It's
Like there's not
Does make sense.
there may be like soda. We say like, but that's still regional. That's not like
Yeah, there's not a
to-
lot that Florida owns. Like
Florida man. That's it. Like every
Florida
news
man,
thing
yeah,
is Florida
yeah.
man does blah 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 blah. And it's like Florida man. They got to catch this guy. He's doing a lot of damage.
That is a stereotype you guys have.
Yeah. So like that more so. Which I mean, he is Florida, so he kept that.
Yeah, that's a language. But I feel I there's a lot of Spanish people down south
Mhm.
and in the middle and up north, and there's a lot of white people down south, up north, in the middle. Like it's legitimately, it feels more like a melting pot than I would think. Like even like New York, because like New York has like
Right,
this
'cause
is
you
the
have
black neighborhood, this
tropics,
is the
so,
Puerto
yeah,
Rican
yeah.
neighborhood, this is the
Yeah,
Chinese neighborhood.
They
and it's
never
like,
quit that.
yeah, it's like it's really weird that it's a melting pot, but it's also like, but do you have the pot on?
And that's the heat that puts the pot.
That's
on.
why you need Florida to mix it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And a lot of people
There it is.
retire and go
That
to
was very
Florida.
good.
That was good.
Fuck the
Right,
Sunshine
yeah.
State.
And
I just
that's
wrote
the
a new
other-
motto.
That's the
The
other
real
part of
melting
it
pot.
is the
All the people
that's
that
where the
come there.
retirement, right, right.
Yeah.
That's a big part of it. And then families just move there and they just
Why does everybody want to go
producing.
to Florida? What's so fucking good down there?
nothing? And it's so
no
expensive
rules.
now. It's so expensive.
There's no
rules?
rules.
Yeah, there's very little
There's
rules.
so
is that,
many
is it pretty
rules.
reckless? Well, I guess
Yeah.
that's why Florida gets its rap.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's nuts. There's like there's
Well, just their politics. It's like, ugh. Like,
Yeah.
I can't. I was like, I'm
There-
so glad we left when we did.
there was
because I did
a
not want to be
there was
associated with it
a
at
there was
all.
there's
Oh,
a
that's very
a
interesting.
sheriff I can't remember, I think it's Sheriff Grady or Judd. I can't remember what his name is. I feel like it's Grady Judd, but I might be wrong. There's a guy who like kind of gets off on being this hard-nosed sheriff that doesn't take no guff and all this other bullshit. He ordered the inmates in the local prison or something like that, their jumpsuits to be changed to pink
I saw
because
that.
he
I saw
felt
a
like it
news
was
article about
emasculating
that.
or whatever.
Yeah.
He took the basketball hoops away. Like he wants to like torture prisoners, and then Floridians and
The
people.
fun police. This
yeah,
fucking guy.
but, like,
takes
dude,
the basketball.
You're making it harder for people in prison. Cool.
Yeah,
Aren't
yeah,
you a
right.
fucking cool dude?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, oh, in the prison that's filled with people that are mostly wrongly accused or
Like, so they're not violent offenders.
non-violent
Yeah.
offenders and shit like
Okay,
that. So
yeah.
like,
Yeah.
or it just like the fact that it's cringy behavior and it's weird. Like that, I definitely get really fucked up with like how much people in Florida are okay with injustice as long as it's like within their line of morality.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's the freedom part that I'm kind of scared of. It's like little Texas.
Yeah.
It's like you can
Yes,
kind of
yes.
get away with shooting a person in the back as they're running away from not even your property and go, it was self-defense,
Sure.
and go,
And killing, isn't that where Casey? Yeah.
Casey Anthony died
Casey
there.
Anthony.
Not
In
Casey,
Texas?
not you. no, in Florida.
Oh, yeah. That is
Casey
a
Anthony was
crazy-ass
Florida.
story.
Trayvon
Yeah.
Martin was Florida. Dude,
Yeah.
it's like it's one of the worst places in the world.
Or
And-
the
like,
greatest place to
But I love
commit murder.
Yeah,
That
that's true. It
Yeah.
depends. It depends on your morals.
Nailed it.
So
Yeah.
I was.
Get my
old
knife.
people-
Take mine. It's purple.
You do have a knife
I
on
do
your
have
person.
one. I also know how to use a butterfly knife. Well, haven't used a real one. It's always been dull.
Uh-huh.
But
Florida?
Do
I
you
don't
think, just dead ass, if somebody was like following you, not in your car, like if you're walking, let's say to the laundromat, you got like your hands full because you're like at a disadvantage,
Mhm.
but you still have your knife on your person, and somebody was coming at you, like, would you think to like, I'm gonna get this knife out and show it to
Yeah,
him?
would you go like,
Would you like start
Stop.
trying to fucking?
I think
Better get away from me.
so as a woman in the
Yeah.
streets, I think
But
they
but a freak in the
they
sheets.
will they will I think they try to get your attention first. You know what I mean? I don't think they would just grab you because
Hey.
they want you to
Hey,
be
girl.
like, yeah.
Hey.
Oh,
Or,
that
Hey.
catcalling is
hey,
real.
can you help me with this?
Yeah.
Don't ask me for
The
help on the
silence of
streets
the
because you're gonna get
lambs.
stabbed. You know what I mean? Or like, do you ever see that? Like, I see a lot of the on videos. I think they're more in LA, but they'll be like, you know, two cars driving, and the car in front just stops, like somewhere where you can't move out of the way, like,
Sure.
and then and they come up and try to rob you. And I see a lot of them where they're like, well, I'm just gonna run right into their
Right,
open
yeah,
their
yeah.
car, like their car door, and just fuck them up. And I always think about that too. I go, yeah, I just do the same thing.
I would
like,
too.
you know,
Yeah.
You ladies have to think of that.
yeah.
You guys, you know, I mean, like,
Yeah,
not just me. I think about it too, and I think people scoff at that, but like, I think about being attacked constantly.
I always,
But
even
What
if
that's
I'm,
times,
what
like,
you
once a
do,
day?
like
Right now, I'm like,
5 times
my
a
eyes
week.
on you.
yeah.
huh?
That's what you train
Yeah.
to be attacked 5 times a week. So you're always going to be thinking.
I'm
like,
always
yeah.
ready.
You're always ready.
But-
you stay ready.
Even
You got that
if
thing
I'm
on.
just running into the store, like my husband would be like, "Why'd you lock the car door?" And I'm like, "Because they're like, oh, woman, open car. Let me just get in the back."
Yeah.
Like I'm like, part of me is like, I'm not giving them the chance to do it. Like
Right,
it might
right.
be so far fetched, but it's
It's
just
not.
it's a
It's-
good
I think
habit
it's
to
smart-
have.
It's
Yeah,
practical.
And they
Yeah.
look for
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
They look
right.
to see you didn't click the button.
They're
yeah.
looking
I mean-
for distracted,
Mhm.
vulnerable people.
Survival is practical.
The reason why I painted the picture so detailed with the laundry thing is because like sometimes you would think like this laundry basket is more efficient if I just toss it at him. You know what I mean?
That
Like,
is true. I
yeah,
always think about that
run,
too.
Like,
Like if I
are
was
you gonna get the knife?
if I was grocery shopping and like someone went, I'm grabbing a jar of spaghetti sauce and I'm hitting you with it. It's gonna
Yeah, like,
explode and everything. It's
whatever's
gonna
around.
hurt.
Because I think about like
Hey,
not
motherfucker.
holding a knife,
Motherfucker.
but like you
Yeah.
would probably do that. You would grab whatever. Like
Yeah,
you
yeah,
just
yeah.
hope that something's around. But
When
with the
he
military,
would go on tour with Zach, I would have those thoughts of like, okay, what's in the house that I could
That's
use
smart.
if somebody were to get
Pat
in
took the
here?
knife, so
Do you have
See,
one knife?
we're all burn noticing right now. You know what I mean? We're all preparing. We're all
yeah,
We're
you
all a
should
little bit of
absolutely
burn notice.
So
prepare.
burn notice is really good for people with anxiety because we
Yeah.
overthink and then
Yeah,
you know.
seriously, I'm telling you,
overprepare.
you watch it and you're gonna be like, yes, exit star tragedy, 100%.
I think
got it.
Manny's
I
a
think
fan.
it's practical. I think
Manny's a
it's
fan.
smart.
Who isn't a fan of burn notice?
Manny said that Florida has the best rehab places in the country. That's really what they're known for. I don't think
think
that's
I've
true
ever-
at all.
And the retirement homes, I think,
I've heard-
right?
oh, rehab like those because that's because there's so many old people. I think it was
Yeah.
kind of maybe it's a chicken egg thing.
Oh,
Maybe there's a ton of
Yeah,
old
like-
people homes now because there's so many old people.
Yeah,
Or
that makes sense.
oh
Yeah.
yeah, they're making bank down there.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
we should go open a retirement community
Yeah.
down
It's-
there.
Dude,
like,
I-
that is, like,
standards
you'd
are
make
so
so much
low.
money.
That is such a good point, and maybe that's why the governor was like, "Yeah, COVID doesn't exist," because he's like, "Yeah, let's just like get all of these people."
let's free up some room.
We're
Yeah.
we're nesting old people.
We got open beds.
yeah.
Clear them out.
You know what's so funny? Like, someone was like, "Oh man, when you go in Florida, you have to worry about gators like going into your pool and everything." I would
Oh my god.
that always sat me for a while, and I go, "Man, how?" And I would talk to someone from Florida, and I was like, "How can you deal with that? Like, you're in your backyard and a gator's there," and they're like, "You guys have bears, and they also go in your pool." I
Right,
go,
right,
"Oh
right.
yeah," and we don't like think anything of it.
Yeah.
So like, it's funny. It's like, oh, like gators are like bear, like the Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Like the
yeah,
Pennsylvania
yeah.
gator, like
For
it's the
sure.
bear, right?
Oh, I have a legit bear phobia. Like whatever that might be, bear phobia. I have that.
Oh, you're gonna love Alone.
Bear phobia. yeah.
I really
oh
do.
my gosh.
It comes from such a real place. I don't
Oh.
want to tell the whole story, but I once thought that I saw a bear. Did I tell it on the podcast yet?
No, I don't
Was
think
it
so.
before?
No, I don't
I
think
never
I've
said
heard that.
anything
You
about
you
it.
wrestled there once?
I was walking my dog early in the morning at my parents' house. They live in Marysville in the woods, and they have forest monsters, these fucking bears. They just like wander in. People put feeders in their yard. I'm like, to attract forest monsters. Like, why? Like, why would you
Feeders?
fucking want them? There's kids in
what's
the
a bear
neighborhood.
feeder?
Yeah.
I guess they
The trash can?
That would be adorable though to see him come up and
That
pop
is
the
the bear-
lid off and just be like
the bear
"You know what, I'm
feeder."
just gonna use
Like
a chicken
hold it
skin."
like a plate and just go like
like
Like the cartoon, yeah.
Yeah,
it's
like
picking
what is
up
his
its-
name? Yogi. I got down with
Yeah,
Yogi.
There you go, yeah.
It was a boring. They didn't speak a lot of words, right? Or
No.
maybe.
he did. He
Oh.
talked a little too much, if you ask me.
Oh.
I don't like a smart ass bear. I don't mind regular bears, Casey, but I'm sorry, Yogi.
No,
Yeah.
Enough.
I
Zip it.
wish this was Yogi, but
Hey, bear.
Only put my bears
That's-
on unicycles, and that's it.
So
I don't
so
want no more.
a fun. We're not spoiling anything, but you're gonna learn quickly. The number one defense to bears is to go, "Hey, bear.
Is this an alarm?
Hey, bear."
Yeah.
No.
Oh my God.
You gotta look at it. Hey, bear. No louder than that. Hey, bear. Hey,
Oh
bear.
my gosh, you know what? That must be true because anytime, like I am, just like how a Florian might not be scared of a gator in their backyard. Anytime I do
By the
see
way,
a
we're
bear,
scared
I
of
go,
gators. We
"Hey,
were-
bear," and they
Yeah.
never come by.
Hey, gator.
So I think that must work because they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna leave now."
That's
you know?
hilarious.
Gosh, that's
Hey,
so true.
Yeah.
I-
That's a sketch.
like we're thinking they're like, "Oh, you do this to try to scare it away," and I'm like, "So why would you go?" Like-
And you're supposed to act bigger or
Yeah.
like try
Yeah.
to be bigger than you are, and that's
Again,
supposed
there's
You
to-
like peacock yourself.
Yeah, yeah.
So what did you do when you saw the bear? Did you go,
Oh, my
"Hey,
goodness.
bear. Hello, bear."
It was such like a white girl in a movie. I immediately fell to the ground. It was so embarrassing the way my knees just buckled.
You're like, I'm dead.
Now
I
you-
literally went to
Now you get it, right? Now you see like
Yeah.
a horror movie, and you're like, "Oh, it must be." Yeah, maybe it's
You
like that.
guys.
I never
Well,
even thought
it's-
about that,
what
but
is
maybe
it?
it is.
Flight-
Oh, it is so
fight or
accurate.
flight
Man,
or
or
freeze.
freeze. So
Fight,
your
flight, or freeze.
your instinct was to freeze.
Dude,
I think your body was
I
trying to do all three.
Is
It was like,
fail an option because my body just
Fail.
failed. I fucking died.
fail or flail.
I died on the field that day. I fucking couldn't believe
Holy
how
shit. Manny just started. He literally just started watching Alone. He's like, "Wait, yeah, we're no spoilers, Manny, but there's bears." So
Is Manny like 10 minutes behind on the cast
Yeah.
right now? Like the way these chats are popping up,
yeah,
I feel like
no,
he
they're
is-
here. I'm just looking over at
Yeah,
the
he's
wrong time.
yeah.
Oh, okay.
I'm late, not him. No, I think there's it's there.
So wait, you hit the floor. So then what
Oh,
Oh,
happened?
sorry,
God.
sorry, yeah.
Yes. Oh my God. And I've tried to
thought
tell
we were
this as
talking about the
a
Bears.
bit, and I've made it a story, but I've never really brought it back.
Yeah.
So I had my dog's leash, and it was like me or her. You make all these
Yeah.
crazy
Right,
decisions.
yeah,
and I
yeah,
was
yeah.
like,
What kind of-
"Ah!"
What kind of dog?
Like this.
What kind of dog is it?
So she's a Rottweiler pit bull mix.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
all right.
Oh
all
yeah.
right.
You would have
That's-
plenty
Absolutely.
of time to run.
Absolutely. And
Go
I was
over
like,
there,
bitch, you're gonna
Petunia.
take one for the team right now. 'cause- Okay, the
You were
bear,
bred for this.
This is what you're meant to
the
do.
bear
Yeah.
was like, let's say 30 yards away,
Uh-huh.
something like that. And it was all shadows because where my parents live, there's no streetlights. So it's really
Okay.
just your imagination. Like it was
Yeah.
dark. And fucking Lizzie. I throw the leash, and I can't move a lot because I'm trying to speak in the mic. But so I'm crab walking. When I went to run, my legs went Bodoo. I fall down, and then I'm like crab walking because the legs don't work. I'm like, oh, oh. I mean, it was so bad. Like,
Was the
I
bear
said-
moving towards you?
Or the bear was like, "What's your deal?" He's just standing there.
It's not a bear.
when I got my bearings, it was only because I was in freeze. I was stuck. I
Yeah,
was real.
yeah,
I was
yeah.
shimmying, and I remember all the stones underneath me, and the way you
like-
internalized my brain was
Yeah.
going so much.
Yeah.
What wasn't happening is the bear was not coming towards me. That was a positive, and I kept screaming to God for some reason, and I'm really not that gal. But when you're
Wow.
dying, I'm like, what the fuck is that?
Real deathbed Christian over here, huh?
I was having a whole fucking spiritual moment. And then my stepdad, who was down the way their driveway is, their house is like tucked in. So the driveway S is down, and he's like MacGyver. He fucking always has a knife on his person and a fucking flashlight. This
Nice.
man.
Oh,
And
nice.
I saw and it's like a million candle watt
Yeah.
fucking beam of light just like come into the sky, and it brought me back to my
And you were like,
fucking
God?
bearings.
You heard? You heard me.
Real. He's real.
Oh my God. Bear. Get the bear.
It
No,
was
help
coming-
me! Don't pick me
No,
up.
not me, the bear.
Right,
Over there.
It did come from like beyond
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
shine out into the trees. Holy shit. And I found my footing, and Lizzie was in like a stance, like, you know how dogs would be like, what the fuck is that?
Yeah.
Yes.
But like
yeah.
at you, not the bear. Like, what the fuck is wrong with this lady?
What the fuck?
Dude, you're so funny. Yes. So she's like staring at the thing, and I start running, and I go, run, Lizzie. I'm like, bitch, I'm not like grabbing the leashes.
Yeah,
Like,
no.
we're fucking
You're
out.
on your own.
When I flew, like
Yeah.
my feet
Yeah.
were not hitting the ground, and I saw my stepdad, and I go, run, John, there's a skinny bear. I don't even know why he's skinny. Like, he's hungry. Like, it's fucking March.
Oh,
You know
okay,
what I mean?
gotcha,
I don't
skinny
know
bear,
where, I
okay.
don't know why
Yeah.
skinny came out. He was skinny.
Yeah, like in that moment, you're like, why? That's very limited time. Why am
Why
I
so
making that distinction?
But that's why. Yeah.
Look out, he's a skinny one. He's wiry.
I think it would have been so much funnier if you're like, "Watch out, John! There's a lean bear."
There's a diet bear. So I hit the house, dude. I jumped up on the deck. I'm inside. I don't care about Lizzie. I'm like safe.
Yeah.
I felt safe. And then John comes in and he goes, good thing it was the Great Dane across the street. It was the fucking big ass dog. And I thought it was a bear. And
Oh my
I
gosh.
acted accordingly as it. Now
Yeah.
I know what I would do
If you
Yeah,
saw a
in
skinny
that
bear.
scenario,
Yeah.
and I would die because that bear would have fucked
Oh my
me
gosh.
up.
Yeah, you would have
would've-
fallen down and just like presented yourself as food.
Screaming to the Lord,
God!
and nothing was happening.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was, and like I was getting ready for the deployment. I didn't know those grounds, I
Oh
didn't
my
know
God,
about the dog next
you were
door.
headed to war.
I was going to war. I was there very temporary.
That's
It was
like real
1 week.
confidence. Fuck.
It was bad. It stayed with me. You know how like
Yeah.
it's a near death
I'd be
experience.
fucked in the head. I'd be like, how the fuck am I gonna deal with humans that are smart with bullets when I just got outsmarted by a dog? I thought it was a bear that I was terrified of
No doubt.
because
dude.
you're unarmed, really.
You know what I was more scared of? What we said earlier. I was more scared of being outed for not knowing tools as an engineer than I was the war. I was like,
Yeah.
put me out on the fucking foxhole because I can't stare at the
I'll
toolbox and
take
be
the
like
firefight.
humiliated.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh. Yeah, it was. They made me dig a lot of holes. I did. I dug a lot of trenches.
That
They
would
saw all I
probably
could
be
do.
my job.
Yeah, yeah. They were like, you
What was
were
that?
really
Camp
good
and
at digging.
holes? They're like, we're finding treasure.
I
Stay away from the lizards.
I feel like there's a situation though, like where there's you would think that because we're watching season 2 now.
Okay.
Yeah, we
and-
started. So season 9 is on Netflix, but the whole series is on Hulu. So you can
Okay.
see the first season.
So we're
You're
watching the
froggy.
second. We started
Yeah.
watching the second season, and you would think that like military like the military would prepare you for this in
Mhm.
some way. Like I mean no disrespect to anybody that's served. I don't give a shit. I don't know a lot of you, but
He just
But, like-
disrespected
Independence
the
Day's already
military for
over.
no reason.
but like it
So
doesn't
unnecessary.
mean shit apparently when you're just outside. You're just outside. You don't have your tank. You don't have bulletproof vest. You don't have like a gun or protection or anything like that. You get a bow and arrow, a primitive bow and arrow with 9 bows or arrows. Sorry, that'd be awesome. That'd be redundant.
I got a bunch of bows.
Dude,
Is
like,
it a legit bow
It's a
or
legit
is it
bow.
a fucked up bow?
But
No.
get this, right? It's like a real like just a
It's not
regular.
a high tech one. It's just wood. Like
Yeah.
it's just a simple
Yeah,
bow.
okay.
It's
Okay.
nothing special.
But
It's
think
not
about
accurate,
this.
is what you're saying.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So you
fuck.
don't have that advantage.
It's not a compound bow.
right.
It's crazy how even somewhat privileged they have it compared to like if you were just fucked in the middle of nowhere and there's bears and you have a tarp, arrows, and all this other shit. The second season, and I don't know if they did this. I feel like they do this to prove a point. They like start it from what I've noticed is start every season by going like, check it out. We're just gonna go like through like week 7 or like day 7 in like the first episode because we lost like 4 or 5, 6 people or whatever because
They just drop
and
out.
they're special forces, they're like military, and I
Oh,
think
okay.
they get this like, but I think it's much like the Silk Sheets conversation.
Yeah.
Like it's almost this thing of like you do have it in you. You found that like you survived going into those scenarios, and even still going like I don't know what a screwdriver is, or I don't know what this is, or I don't know what
Don't
like this
hand
tool.
me a drill.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Fucking bad, dude.
But like we all like it's surprising how many people I would like to see this same show with not somebody who is confident that they can do it, but somebody who is somewhat knowledgeable. Like give them a survival handbook
Mhm.
and give them the same
They'll
tools.
die.
No.
They'll die.
Well, they can tap out.
Yeah,
They-
so you can
have
just
the
tap
option- yeah.
out.
You have the
Yes,
option. You have a satellite phone, and they
Okay.
do health checks every once in a while. I think
Yeah, I don't know what the cadence is.
there's
for
a couple
health
people
checks,
that
but-
they have to take out every once in a while. They have to medically intervene because they're like, you
Well,
are
I
losing
think the
too much
health
weight.
checks happen once they hit
Oh.
a
certain
threshold.
time. Yeah.
So I think like once you hit the 30 days, then I think then they'll start like maybe they do it. Yeah, I don't know.
Damn, I
But
was gonna say me like what, like 5 days?
But-
I was like, someone can check off my.
I would
Yeah.
even like to see. I would even like to see somebody who is not very equipped to do it, given like a sleeping bag, a tent, a filtration straw, like one of those
I
heavy.
know what you
Like
mean.
give them
Yeah.
all the best
So
stuff.
give them
give
and
them
that's
the
their
leg up.
advantage.
Yeah, that would be
Yeah.
cool. One season, I would like to see that. Like
I have
could
some
see that. I could
questions.
see
So are
Oh, yeah.
people getting attacked by bugs? Because I'll fucking quit so
they
quick.
don't mention bugs a lot.
No
I mentioned
mosquitoes.
that.
I think it
and shit that are
depends. Well,
happening?
what we've seen have been cooler climates.
Yeah.
So I don't know,
Ah,
like,
okay.
so the only seasons we've seen, they're getting there in the fall.
Yeah.
So
it's
there
like-
hasn't been an issue, but I don't know if they go into like tropics.
A lot of the
It's too
times,
risky.
would
You could
think-
get malaria, dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
Yeah.
Actually, it
And,
might
like,
be
jungle
too
cats.
dangerous. Yeah.
I would not
'Cause
last
it's
this
still,
time.
it's
Jaguars,
still a
stay away.
liability. It's still a
Jaguars.
TV show. Like there's risk, but they still need to be careful. So there's probably way too much that they can't
it's
control.
not like
in those
That makes sense.
Climate,
There's
yeah.
too many.
they're
Yeah.
not. Yeah,
variables.
it's not
I
like
wanted to say
unreachable. They're not unreachable places, but they're secluded. Like
Yeah.
so, like
you will not accidentally come across somebody.
yeah. So like there's a situation where the winner, whoever the winner is, they like surprise them with like they bring their like family member or spouse or whoever to like wherever they are. And she's brought it up a couple times. That's such a good thing because they're changed. Like
They're
they're
changed.
they're different people at
Yeah.
the end of it.
Oh my gosh.
with, like,
anything like that, I imagine.
The later episodes, if you watch season 9 first, which is totally fine. Like you can, there's no like you don't have to start. The first season's okay, but I think they get
The
better
first
as
sea-
they go because
the
they
first
learn.
season is cool
Sure.
to see
I know what you mean.
how different it was. Like
Yeah.
they definitely get better
Yeah.
because they can obviously learn from their mistakes that they made. So each
Mhm.
season is better because they're like, oh yeah, they'll bring up the different cast members from past seasons. Oh, I saw so and so did this. And so it does get a lot better.
Is there a lot of women doing it?
Now, yeah. They do it now where like the first season was like they're like 10 men remain. And she
Yeah.
brings it up every time. It's like, yeah, all right. And then now
But
they're
there
like,
weren't any women, but the second season there was 3.
there's and because it's legitimately, it's just about you.
Yeah.
If
it's what
you can
do.
survive and you can not even necessarily thrive, like long as you're okay, you can.
How many
be-
days we talking?
Well, the first couple seasons are Last Man Standing, but the last 2 that we saw, I think it was 100 days.
Holy!
Oh my god.
I couldn't feed myself that
But
long.
one guy, the
Yeah.
first, what I was shocked by was because now season 9, it was 100 days. The one of the contestants on season 1 was like, he was expecting to be out there for a year. I was like, what?
Oh wow.
That's
a
a
year.
mental
That's
prepared
insane.
dude.
Like,
yeah, like
he was
holy
just
I mean, I
like-
guess like over prepared. That
But
way you're like,
he-
oh wow, 100 day. All right.
Yeah.
Right.
You know.
That's my
But I
goal.
think that's the
Done
the,
already.
like
Yeah.
actual ignorance of it, of like, oh, I could do it for a year. Oh no, you're lucky if you can make it 100 days.
You're lucky if you
Yeah.
can make it 36 days.
Do you
Yeah.
remember
instead
how
of
much
70
weight
days.
he lost in that
Lots.
time?
I think he said he could fist his pants twice like that.
Wow.
He could fist his
Damn.
pants.
That's like the
bad.
dollar
bill
Such a
thing.
weird way to-
Well, he didn't have any way to measure it. That
6
was his
inches.
measurement. He was like 2 fists. I could put my pants in 2
Yeah.
fists straight out.
There was-
in
Oh my
front of
God.
My
me.
dick is so big now.
Right? Yeah. They're like, hey, honey.
Look at this dick. He's like,
I have malaria, but I
you
think
can get a malaria vaccine, and that one's fucking. We had a lot of vaccines that were questionable.
Oh, that might be something they make them do, like,
Sure.
you know,
to get
help-
on the show, you
to
have
help
to do
protect
this.
them. Like,
yeah.
I'm sure there's health checks because you can't be at risk
So-
and go out there.
You have to get some special.
so. We all
shots.
like camping, right?
Yes. I was just gonna say
How long
like
do you think you could make it?
I was just gonna say like
Yeah.
I love camping and me and my
Same.
husband will try to go as much as we can. And like literally if you put me in a
And
woods
fishing. You go fishing,
and fishing
all the time.
too, yeah. Like I'm a big outdoors girl and everything. And that's another thing too. My husband will always anytime we're in a secluded place in the woods, I'm making a fire. I'm making a fire
Oh,
all the
yeah.
time. Like don't give me a lighter and a little bit of wood, like sticks. I'm gonna make a fire.
You're
Somehow,
gonna
you
start
know what I
breaking
mean?
up Kindle.
I do. It's like insane. But and it's so funny. And you're explaining this, and I'm like, you know what? I could probably make it. But then I'm thinking, yeah, last week you were wondering if you had to bring your preparation H to the mic.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you would survive as long as
Yeah.
you think
Yeah.
you would.
Dude,
Yeah.
So realistically,
That
maybe
could be one of your 10 items.
there we go. Yeah.
how
That's
the
true.
fuck do they survive? Like, you could get a UTI out there. Like, are they gonna give
Yeah.
you some antibiotics, or
Nope.
do you have to tap out if
Yeah,
you get any type of
it's
fucking?
whatever you can like endure.
Dude, yes.
I
If you're
feel like
all right,
legit, some
it's
of-
gonna hurt when
Some
I
of the
pee.
people that are like, oh, I get knocked
No,
out.
dude, it's
Here
way
we go.
bad. It'll like attack your kidneys. Like, you gotta
Yep.
tap out.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that actually, you're right. Yeah, because that happened to me. I had a UTI so bad it got into my kidneys.
Ugh.
I couldn't move, and we were
That's scary.
leaving Florida
Yeah.
to drive here. We were down there for vacation or visiting, and then the day we were leaving, I was like, I'm in so much pain. So it was a 15-hour drive, and then I was like, I can't do it. I can't. I'm in too much
Damn.
pain.
Yeah, we ended up staying in
So,
Florida.
yeah,
I'm
for a
glad
I
little
would
bit.
I'm
tap.
glad you
I would
intervened
say-
on that, because there's no more steps after that.
Yeah.
Right?
Like,
no,
what-
no, yeah, that
That's
was
Did
it.
they
really
tell
bad.
you you caught it in time and pumped you? Did they
Yeah.
give you an IV drip of antibiotic?
No.
Do you remember?
No, I went to just like a clinic. So they gave me like crazy antibiotics, but he was like, oh yeah, he's like, there's all kinds of stuff in your urine, like blood, and like it's bad. And I was like, okay.
You were like a little petri dish in there.
yeah.
I would probably
So I would
last
tap out for that. That was
until I
painful.
got my period. Then I'm like, the bears are gonna find me.
Oh my
May-
god, that is
may-
so
Oh,
true. I
don't get
didn't
me
even-
started on
I
the
was
bears.
I was just gonna say like I wonder if like the ladies are like I don't know, do they get
Do
like
the
the
ladies make
implant
it?
or
Have
like,
they made it past
yeah.
30 days? Maybe it's like it hits and they're like tapping out. And
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't realize that's
Right.
actually what it is.
Fuck. Yeah,
I
didn't
bet it
even think of that.
doesn't come from
Oh,
stress.
no.
though.
Oh, you know what? You're gonna be
Oh,
malnourished.
that's
Yes, you won't
true,
even
yeah.
have one.
I bet your
Yeah.
body's gonna. We talked about the binding up with the
Yeah.
poo. You won't have a lot of the.
Yep.
So these people are in control of turning the camera off
Also,
in all your vulnerable moments.
I think a lot of
Yeah,
these ladies,
that's nice.
I think a lot of these ladies are maybe like free bleeders. You know what I mean? Like they might be
Yeah.
like, it's
Or they're probably on
Oh,
natural.
the
birth
cup.
control where
Yeah,
they
or
don't
the
have
cup.
like you know what I mean, like where they
Uh,
don't get like their period.
Manny says he'd last half a day, maybe. But that's one of the things. Is like there was like special force. I think special forces person.
There was one
There was a guy
military
from-
guy that did like I think he was special forces and he lasted a really long time.
He stumbled across a couple bear dens and he was like, I'm out.
Oh,
he's
no,
like,
I was thinking of a different.
What do
guy.
they
Oh,
look like?
okay.
What does a bear
from
den
the
look like?
latest from the latest season or the last
the
season,
second season.
season
Oh.
9. That one he was like really decorated, like did a ton of tours or whatever, and he lasted long. But so far in the first 2 seasons, the people that are special ops or whatever, they're not laughing.
Yeah,
very
not
long.
it's just I think they're making a point to say like look, it's not about like necessarily what you've done. It's about what you can handle.
Yeah.
And a
Yeah.
lot of
What
them
can
are
you
like this.
endure,
He's like
like-
this. These woods are creepy. He's like he's like very eerie out here. And then like he heard, and I will say this, he heard an animal noise that like at first I wanted to make fun of him, but then I was like, I don't know what that is either.
Yeah,
But
I
it's just
couldn't
like
tell what it was.
Ah! It was like something like that. And I was just like, that's not a bear. It's
Not a
lion.
bird. I don't
it's
think it's a
lion."
bird.
And it's just, and he was like, what was that? And he goes, hey bear. I was like, I don't think that's a bear. Hey, whatever the fuck that is.
You know what? I was
Oh,
gonna
that's
say
so funny.
I think that sounds like an owl picked up an animal.
Yeah, like it.
Like, I
could've
bet
been-
it's
no,
something-
but it happened again, and then he was like, I gotta get to the shore.
Oh,
And it's
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
yeah.
He
Okay,
tapped-
then that was scary. I go, oh no.
he tapped before even the
And you
first
could
day was
hear
done.
it like walking, like you could hear like
Oh, fuck no.
whatever branches or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's just like it's close and that sounds really
It's
close.
a Canadian Yeti.
And-
We gotta go.
Come out.
And then it sounds like an intimidating noise, like they're trying to scare you.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
I see you.
They're
motherfucker.
doing their hey
Yeah.
human.
Yeah, yeah. Hey,
Hey human.
hey human.
Hey human.
And he's
That
like,
hey
"All right,
bear
go
go
away."
away.
He's like, hey bear.
The hay bears.
Hey,
so
human.
funny. It's so, you said hay bears from season 9.
That's every we found
That's
out
the
it's-
direction they get. They tell them.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, when you
Because
guys
the
mentioned
people
hearing a
told
noise,
us.
Oh my
and
gosh,
also
that's
this,
fucked up.
I wanted to say this. This is another. I have 2 bear stories I wanted to
love
mention.
this.
But recently, this goes with the noise. So me and my husband, we like to go. We go to this like off-grid fishing place that he knows, like right off the Susquehanna River. It's like by Herndon, PA, which is by not. It's like in the middle from here and Sunbury.
Okay.
Oh,
So,
Okay.
you know what I mean? But so it's a really nice secluded place. Don't find it, guys. Don't ruin it.
Don't tell anybody.
But like last time we went, you know, my husband and his cousin were there, and they go bass fishing with the lure, so they're just walking out, like wading in the water and everything. And I was with Brutus. We're chilling on the beach and we're playing ball. I was laying in the just like kind of floating in the water right there, and I swear I could have heard like a bear growl. And we're so like off grid that I'm like,
Ugh.
and my thing is. First off, Brutus would probably be like, "Hey, what the fuck? Get away
Yeah.
from me!" You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Hey, bear.
hey, bear. Yeah. Brutus would, like, you know what I mean? Because
It
he's
never
a
gets old. It gets me every time.
he's a
It's so funny. It's
It's
just so
so
funny.
yeah,
Sorry.
because he's a pit, beagle, Rottweiler, bulldog mix.
Oh, yeah.
And
So
he-
all
he's a
those
decent
dogs
boy,
are
too.
hunting dogs.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they are
They're
meant to be like,
bullies.
"Hey, fuck you." You know
and
what I mean?
also protective.
Yeah.
You know? He's,
Mhm.
that's
Yeah,
his
and he's
mom.
like, "Hey,
Like, fuck him out, bear. Hey.
So like my thing was like, I just was like, I don't know if I heard that.
Yeah.
And I'm like, let me see if the dog heard it.
Yep,
Like, let me see
yep.
if he reacts. But my thing is like, what do I do? I mean, they're gonna like I said, bears are like alligators. They can go
Yeah.
in and out of the water. You don't
Yeah.
want to get stuck anywhere near them because once they have you, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like,
Oh, it's so bad.
so like I was thinking about that. I was like, I don't know, like how far I can run away from a bear in this area right,
Right.
here.
Yeah,
or anything.
yeah.
would
So,
you just start swimming out?
I
and just
would.
hope
I
for
would
the
just be like,
best?
all right, Brutus, let's go swim in or anything. I'd just go like towards Mark and everything and be like,
Yeah.
I'd feel
um,
safer.
but luckily I did have like a luckily me, I did have a fire. So usually maybe Mark says that usually stops him away from like going near you or anything,
Okay.
you know, if there's a fire there. So I was like, maybe.
Yeah, because they could feel that, like they can be close, but still kind of be
Yeah,
far,
exactly.
and feel like okay, there's a temperature change.
there's something
like,
going on over there.
Yeah.
I don't want to check it out. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Even
I
if
could
it smells
see
like
that.
food, I feel like the food,
Food might
surpasses
surpass.
that.
Yes, I would say if
The
you
fear.
have food, that might.
Maybe
They
food.
come
Yeah, that's
sniffing
what I
for
was
the
thinking. I
trash
was like,
bag.
if anything,
But
yeah,
that's
just throw the
something
food
that I
out over
learned.
there. Let
Yeah.
them
Throw
just go
a
swimming.
loaf of bread. out.
Yeah, yeah, for real. Hey bear, t-shirt gun.
But that was something I learned from watching Alone is you don't eat at your camp.
Yeah.
You like prepare it. You do everything far away.
You see, Casey, you got to go down there by your
wow.
water.
and dispose of the bones and
Eat by
everything.
water.
Yeah, and you do it
Damn.
by
You
the
have
water.
no
that way you
trash on your
clean it,
person.
Eat
Okay.
it there, and then that way they don't bother you
Smart.
at your camp.
I would sleep so much better knowing that I didn't have a trash can because
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
why
that's
you have to,
true.
like,
Yeah.
put it in a tree and they can climb
Yeah.
trees, but you still have to get it off the ground.
Yeah. And they do that. Like they'll store food. They make, I forget what they call them, but specific things so that way bears don't get them. Which
They're
they
called
said,
Hey Bear up theirs.
I always thought bears could climb, but they said they can't. They won't climb up trees. And I was like, I'm pretty sure
No,
they,
They
can.
That's
can.
bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've-
because that first guy, the first season, there was that guy that found the bear den, and like the two like littler bears were up in the tree, and he was like,
Oh yeah, that's right. They
Yeah.
were in the tree.
Yeah.
I think
So
it's
that's
a little
bullshit.
bear thing.
it's the
And
same
that's
thing.
the other thing is if there's
Bears
cubs,
are more mysterious
that's
than we
way
realize.
Yeah.
scarier because then
the
Mama bear.
Yeah, mom's like, hey, human, stay away.
Yeah, she will be
Heck yeah.
very aggressive. So
Yeah.
if you come across cubs, well, I don't want to say you're fucked, but you better.
You are fucked. No, you're so fucked. And I think that's the layers of my phobia because I allowed myself to go there. And I'm like, it's out of your control.
Yes.
You want to go hiking on the Appalachian Trail and then some cubs find you. You're so
Yes.
fucked.
Yeah. Just
I would
walk
start
upon them.
sprinting. Like I would be
Yeah.
like, there's fucking cubs. Like,
Yeah.
because you know mama fucking hates you.
Yeah.
And they did it. They
Yeah.
came to me. Like, oh, I fucking
Oh,
hate how
man.
bears react. Like that's so out of your control.
Yeah.
It's
And,
And
sad.
also, I'll mention my second bear story. So
yeah.
years ago, there's like this hunting cabin by Pine Creek Valley. Now, this hunting cabin's so old that women cannot be members,
Oh wow.
even in this day and age, right? It's
Wow.
so oh my god, straight up, and it's like Mennonite County.
okay.
Like, there's no really like cell phone reception, no nothing. And I mean, a great place, like to like go tubing and stuff like that.
Seems like the beginning of a Jordan Peele movie.
Oh yeah, right, totally. But we would always play this game called Kick the Can. I don't know if anyone ever played that. It's like
I've never-
weird.
I know what it is, but I've
done
never.
it, but
It's
I don't know
like-
what it is.
played
It's
it.
like a weird like hide and seek, playing in the dark, like someone's like tag,
Yes.
something like that.
Yeah.
I honestly, if someone told me how to play, I'd be like, I don't know, just go in the woods and
Kick
someone
a
get a can. Yeah.
I don't know.
And then like I don't know. I was little enough to be like, okay, I'm just gonna follow my sisters around
Right.
or anything.
Yes.
Fuck yeah. All you need is a stick.
Yeah.
But at
Like
the
a
end of the
can.
night, one year we brought, like, it was like when we were starting to become like, like we're all teens. We're like, oh, we're each bringing a friend and everything. So we were like by the fire, and we would go with my cousins and like my aunt and uncle and their family. So they had a dog named Jack, and he was a black lab. And our one friend Grady, he was going into the woods to pick up like sticks and things, and he said he turned around and he just goes, bear, and he runs down and he trips, falling down, and then
You're so scared.
and then he gets up and he goes, oh, it was the dog. and Jack followed. That was the dog's name, Jack, the black lab. He's
I'll
probably
save
like,
you.
bear, where? And he's like chasing with him too. Like, you know
Yeah,
what I mean?
he's
And-
freaked out. He's like,
Where?
where? And everything.
Oh my god!
It was just like, it happened so quick. Bear running down, trip, and then gets up and goes, and then the dog kind of
The dog was like,
"Oh,
"You're
it's the dog."
supposed to say, hey, let's go. We gotta go."
Going, hey bear,
But that reminded me when you said about I was like, oh my god, it's always the dog.
Oh, it's
Like-
probably happening as we speak
That
to
is
someone
fucking
right
crazy.
now. Like
Yeah.
that's how often. But in my defense, the way this Great Dane like slinked across
That's
the
a
road,
big.
Yeah.
ass
Oh
dog.
yeah,
Big
I mean,
dog, yeah.
and
just
just
he was like
and not
slinking
common.
like a
Skinny dog.
bear, and he like did
The
this
skinny
whole.
bears.
He crossed the road in 3 strides, if you know what I mean.
Yeah,
That's how
yeah,
big
yeah,
he
yeah.
was, and he wasn't in his fucking yard.
Yeah.
If he was in the neighbor's yard, I would have more so questioned like, what the fuck is that?
What am I seeing?
But
Yeah.
the way he was
Yeah,
moving into
yeah.
my parents' yard, like, and he never like reacted like a dog. It was just dark enough. He
Very
always
bear-like.
stayed in like he was trying to trick me in
Yeah.
like he was like in a bear stance. And Lizzie was
It's
tricked
like,
too.
why is
because-
this lady walking like a crab? I'm gonna start walking like a bear.
I guarantee he was
Maybe
like,
you're-
"What the fuck is that?"
It's
He
her
was
deal.
telling his dog friend the same story. He's like, "This fucking crazy
This
bitch."
fucking lady starts falling on the I get
screaming.
blinded.
Yeah, the
I
Great
don't
Dane,
see.
the Great Dane to Lizzie's like, what the fuck is she doing? Lizzie's like, I don't know.
It's so fucking real though. Like and like the
Yeah.
Cubs thing, like I just didn't know what the fuck I was looking at. I thought it was a small skinny.
Maybe
Yeah.
maybe that's the playing dead thing with bears. Maybe it's not like because there I found out that it's apparently like there's types of bears that you're supposed to do the certain things with. I thought it was just a bear to bear basis. You know what I mean? I thought it was just like a base.
All bears
basically-
are one.
Yeah, like you know what I mean. Like it's sometimes you play dead. I figured the playing dead thing was like to throw them off. Like to just be like, I thought it was just like almost the same idea where you froze that dog, where that dog was like, what the fuck was this? Like, he was probably coming over to see you, and he was just like, what's going on with this lady?
My scare tactic, my peacocking,
Yeah.
I was fucking loud.
I wonder if that's
I was screaming for my fucking life.
like play dead but get really loud.
Yeah.
That's what I
the
told
thing.
Pat. I would have like a guttural scream. Like if I, I would say, like, but is that
You gotta pull that sound from the bottom of your vagina.
and I
Yeah.
feel
That's
like
that's where you
I
get
would
that
be
from.
that
The
afraid.
floor of
Like,
the
in
vagina.
that moment, were you
Yeah.
not that afraid that you were just like pulling it from the depths of your soul?
Yes, and I was so it was so crazy that my legs didn't work. So
Yeah.
whatever that really is, like the freeze.
Yeah.
It
what
looked
they
like you were
taught
being
us-
exercised. Like you're like,
Yeah, that's what I'm envisioning is like
Only- my arms
exorcism.
only like one of those cats that drag their legs around. Like I was fucking one of those.
the visuals for that story. That is absolutely
Have
a
you
story you
guys
should
That
tell.
that has to be a good work on that. That's a good stage.
Yeah, I
one.
do
That
need
has to be,
and I have to
Yeah.
commit to it because when I did it,
Yes, commit.
I
Not
didn't
that you have to
commit.
fall to the ground. I don't.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna do it. That's a good physical humor.
Get a dog.
It
Bring a
is
dog on
yeah.
stage. Bring a skinny dog.
And like the way I channeled the energy with you guys is I remember seeing the dog. That's why I was able to go there. And
Yeah,
it came
yeah,
out so
yeah,
good because
yeah.
I remember I could tap into the.
Tap into that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have a near-death experience?
Have you seen any
Oh, yeah.
bears? Have you seen bears? Have you ever had a bear
Yes.
encounter?
Yes.
You've
Really?
had like multiple.
Not like gay guys.
No. I
Oh.
was in a house, so it was
Gay
like
guys
I
don't
had no fear
Not that bad.
whatsoever.
Okay.
But we were visiting family in upstate New York, and they had black bears, like they were all around. And so they were like, "Oh, while you stay here," they were like, "Just be cautious when you're outside. Like, just you don't have to be afraid, but just be aware of your surroundings, and bring the trash in." I think that was like bring
Yeah.
the trash into the garage, because it was like 4th of July weekend, so there was like a lot happening, and it was like towards the end of the night, so it must have been like 8 or 9 o'clock, and they were like, "Look outside, there's bears," and it was like a little like I don't know what they call them when they're together.
What is a
but-
pack of bears?
herd?
Yeah.
A
I guess.
Is it a
Berenstain.
herd? I don't know.
I
But there
think
was
it's a
like I want
Berenstain
to
of
say there
bears.
was like 2
Just
to
glossed over my
4,
joke.
and they were just walking in the backyard. So it was completely non-threatening. I was in a house, so I was totally fine. I was like, "Oh, that's really cool." But
Did
that
you
was
see
it.
them like they were walking in a row, or were they sniffing around looking?
They
for
were
shit?
they were like
being
sniffing,
mischievous.
but they were staying in the tree line. So like they came just outside the tree line, and they were kind of in the
Mhm.
grass, but we had packed everything up. We were done for the night, so there probably was like food and stuff because we were out there all day. But
The
Some
bear
crumbs.
mom was like, "Kid, you made me late.
yeah,
I missed all the trash."
Fuck. Did you watch Berenstain Bears?
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
I did,
that
yeah.
was they had the book, right?
Yep,
Yeah,
books.
I
And then
remember the
there was
book
a cartoon,
more.
yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
didn't know
did
there
like
was
the
a
books.
cartoon.
Maybe I made
Yeah,
that
I'm
up.
I
pretty
do remember the
No,
cartoon, but I
I
remember the
remember a
book more.
cart-
yeah.
The books I remember more.
I remember a cartoon.
Was it Reading Rainbow? Do you remember when he would like read the books and they animate it? Do you remember?
I remember Reading Rainbow. I could probably sing the song, but I don't remember the show. Like I don't
Okay.
remember him
Oh,
reading.
wow.
That's odd.
2003.
Isn't
would,
that
they
so
would,
weird?
They would
Yeah.
grab kids, and the kids, remember, they would like pan to them and like
Uh-huh.
interview chair, and the kids would like pick the book, and then they like fucking like a preschool. They show the cover, they like pan, everybody can see, and then I don't know. They just always like had kids on a playground playing, and they're like, "This is
Yeah.
what fun kids. We're gonna pick this kid. What book do you want?" I loved Reading Rainbow. I like.
Nice.
I remember
Yeah.
like
What channel was that? USA?
That was a
PBS.
go back. that was a free one. That was
PBS. Probably,
Yeah.
PBS.
So I'm gonna ask, because you're a mom, Casey.
I'm a bear.
Your daughter, does she have like when she was maybe little, was there like a certain character or TV show she was obsessed with?
Oh yeah, this is funny. So like when kids first learn about this little magic box,
Oh, yeah?
I remember like you make a solid choice for your child. You're like, what would she like? And I'm like, I'll put in fucking Elmo, right? Like I'll just make a little
Ah.
choice
Okay.
because Sesame Street is like a whole. You can go there with Elmo
Yeah.
if you want, but this
Mm-hmm.
is just. I think it was Elmo's World. What was so cute, you guys, is she was like between 1 and 2, so they can talk and like it's adorable. She started calling the phone Elmo because
Aw,
if she'd be like
yeah.
Elmo, and I'm like, no
Oh.
Elmo.
You need to do
And bear-
research of like what can I tolerate?
Yeah,
I see another bear. Get the Elmo. 911.
It was so cute. Her just calling this thing Elmo. I let that shit go on for as long until she learned
Aw.
finally from someone else because I didn't
Yeah.
fucking tell her that it's a phone. But
That
we
is
would be in
And
the
you went to
store.
that person, you're like, thanks for ruining it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did kind of want to pinpoint. I think it was Gigi. Gigi was like, "This is a phone, babe." But it was so adorable because it's like kind of obnoxious if you hear a kid like, "Mom, can I have your phone?" But she's like, "Elmo?" Question
Yeah.
mark, and I'm
you're
like,
oh no.
"Not right now, no Elmo."
No Elmo.
But it got to the point where she didn't even want Elmo. Like she fucking casted right over Elmo. But the fact that we still called it that was
Yeah.
fucking super cute.
That
That
is
is
really
cute.
I did
cute.
like it.
Yeah, that is
But
awesome.
she went through SpongeBob heavy. That was
Yeah.
probably the longest one. She
Like deep, like bed sheets, all that, right? Or
I didn't lean in that hard. Always tried to push the dolls on a kid who didn't want dolls. That was an interesting thing. I'd be like, look at this doll. Like, you want a baby? And she's like, fucking always always wanting to curb babies. Like she's just a very but now she likes the babies and now she's more of a girly girl. But yeah, she was always a little tomboy.
When I was little, like my mom says like from like 3 to 4 or 5 or something like that. Or maybe I don't know, but she said I was obsessed with lamb chop.
Oh,
Remember lamb chop?
Yeah.
Dude, my mom was like, you were like the bed sheets, everything. And I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't like, I kind of like, I can picture it, but I have no idea how an episode will go. And it's so weird how you're like, I was apparently I was so obsessed with it.
I know the song,
but
I don't know.
would not know.
I love that.
like,
Like, why do we have these fucking
Yeah,
Rolodex
yeah.
of songs? Word for word. But who was her name's escaping me, the famous comedian lady that was the voice for the lamb chop and did the puppet.
I have
I
no
don't know.
idea.
Google that for me.
Linda Ellerby?
Was it the one Judy? I keep wanting to say
Hold
Judy
on, no.
Gold. It is the lady who was like, she set a standard for us as comics. Like she was our dirty fucking old lady.
Man, no wonder I love lamb chop.
That's
why
what
I
I'm
like
saying.
it.
There you
I
go.
I think she fucking won you
Sherry
over.
Lewis?
Oh, I think she did a stint in it. I think they probably did multiples. Or I could
Yeah,
be
'cause that
completely
show
wrong.
was. I think that was a really old.
Yeah.
It was an old.
I
But
don't know
like,
when
it's,
that
so I'm like,
started,
I'm
but-
wondering if years later you're gonna be all like, you were obsessed with SpongeBob, and she's gonna be like, what? Like, what? Really? And you're gonna be like, oh my god, you know what I mean? Like this. I don't know.
I was obsessed with Little Mermaid, but I remember that.
Yeah, I do. Same here, Little Mermaid. I did like Little Mermaid, but like
that
that was
was
weird how
my-
lamb chop. I was like, oh,
That was my room. So my bedding, my sheets, like my bathroom stuff, everything was Little Mermaid until I was in high school.
That's nice that your parents like gave you, like my mom let me pick out the color of my carpet like one time, and I thought that was really cool of her. But I never got like the curtains, the works. You know, you get like decals and little things. Like I never had like a theme. You remember when you were talking? Was it before the mics came on when you were like, you have the trauma memories that come and you fucking
Cry.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
little cry comes
yeah.
I swear to God, it was like 5 years ago. I was like, I never had birthday parties. Like I didn't even realize
yeah, I
that.
know you
That
mean.
actually shows
That is like
a
a perfect example of like,
Yeah.
oh
like,
yeah,
I didn't care in the
yeah.
time.
So,
I never
I didn't
registered.
have birthday parties, but it was, well, I shouldn't say that. I did have 2. And then my mom got hardcore into Jehovah's Witness. So then I didn't have my next birthday party until 21.
Oh,
So I
that's a
can't
long gap.
relate to that.
Especially if you had it and it was taken away.
Right. And my first one was a pool party at my grandparents' house, which they had a ginormous pool and a slide and a diving board. Like it was like the most epic day. All my friends were there. It was like, I remember that so well.
That is
And
nice.
then, so that was probably first grade. And then second or third, it was a bowling alley. And that one was really cool. And a boy that I liked got me a really cool present. It was one of the, remember the things that you could pull and they would fly?
Mhm.
They were like, had like fairy arms.
Oh,
And you just like,
I know exactly what you're doing. Yo, you get any of
Sky
your
dancing.
hair
Sky
caught
dancing.
in that?
Oh,
yeah,
and
yeah.
That's ripping.
that came from a real place. That's
Yeah.
fucking stuff.
But I had like a collection. I loved that toy so much. And this boy that I had a crush on got me one. I was like, oh my God, this is so cool.
Oh my
You got wet
gosh.
every time you fucking I
He
fucking
got
love
that for
Eric.
me. I think I probably broke the cord on that one.
They did break easily. Yeah,
did.
like
That's
anything.
funny.
Like I don't know what it was. Maybe my like sisters being like, and it gets
Yeah.
stuck in your hair and everything.
I
But, like,
remember that. I remember
yeah,
that.
Does that
Uh,
make
oh
you
my
tougher
gosh.
when you have older siblings and you just like I don't, my brother, we're Irish twins, so we're very close. It's like
Yeah.
14 months. I don't know if that counts.
Oh
but
wow.
Didn't you say you're the youngest? Are
My
you the baby?
so I'm the third. There's 4 of us. I'm the third. So I'm
Okay.
like one of the middle. But my 2 older sisters, they're 18 months apart.
Okay.
And we literally have a cousin who was born like 9 months before this one, and 9 months. So like
Yeah.
literally, and so like
So you always
older
had
sleepovers
somebody,
to be
yeah,
like,
yeah.
Amanda's hanging out with me, or no, she's
Yeah.
hanging out with me, and then and I'm just there going.
Yeah.
My sisters brought me along.
Like, did you see
Yeah.
them fight a lot? Like, did they rip it? Did
They
you see
love
them
each
beat the
other,
shit out of
and
each other?
yeah, like like sometimes those fights were the most vicious and everything.
Yeah.
Did
know
you
what I
have to
mean?
break them up because you were concerned? For
No,
their-
I hid undercover. I was like, don't make me. I was like, here's the one thing: if they're fighting with each other, then
Yeah.
they're not teaming up and picking on me.
On you.
Yeah.
So you're like, oh, okay, I get a break.
Like my mom said, like one of my mom's like memories, mostly just like of us being little, was like me coming up crying, being like, they won't let me play Barbies, something like that. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So guys, if I ask to play Barbies, don't reject me because I might cry. I may be like, Tosh drama.
Dude, I never let my brother play Barbies because like I couldn't make him have sex in front of my brothers, and there was the whole thing. And I remember I have this core memory of him like, let me just be the baby. And I was like, get the fuck out. Like, I know, like, really mean. Like he wasn't getting it. But I had a
Like,
stepsister
this is
too.
me time.
The
Get out.
funniest thing ever happened when playing Barbies. I found out Santa wasn't real, and I was like 8. And
That's a good
because I was playing with Renee was 3 years older than me. She's the second one out of the 4. And we were playing Barbies, and it's like it's Christmas time,
Yeah.
and then so all the kids went to sleep, and I went to go pull out. I'll be like, let me go choose a Santa Barbie, and Renee goes, Santa isn't real, and I had to sit there through the rest of that thing, being like, what the fuck? And then like for another 3-4 years, I had to pretend like, oh yeah, like to my mom, like Santa's real, but I know.
What
Yeah.
a
Like
mind
Santa
fuck.
isn't
They trick
real.
us, and then you were tricking her back.
Yeah,
You're like,
right.
holy
You
shit.
did that for, yeah.
And I did that. I remember
shit.
after, and then I remember my mom. We were like going through like Walmart and Emma was little, and my mom saw like it was around Christmas time. My mom saw something that would have been perfect for Emma, but she's with me, and she goes, do you know about Santa? And I go, yeah, I know about Santa. She goes, okay, and then she put on the thing. This is for Emma. And you're like,
That's a good talk. You can tell like you guys don't run that deep. It's like so
Yeah.
simple.
Oh, yeah. But I remember that, like, dudes, like that's something for the therapist. I go, yeah, Santa was ruined on me by Barbies, and I had to pretend.
That's a double whammy.
Yeah.
Do you remember finding out Santa was real?
Yeah, but
Or-
it was in the summertime,
was
so
real.
it didn't affect me as strong. I
Okay.
couldn't imagine finding out. Was this very close to Christmas? 'Cause
I'm
it's
sure
more
because like when you play
traumatizing.
Barbies and you're like, it's Christmas time.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was like that month or something like that.
Yeah,
I'm sure
yeah,
I
it
was like,
close. Yeah,
oh,
Tis
no.
the season.
yeah.
But like, why do we always remember trauma in the weirdest details? Like, I remember the grill going. My
Yep.
brother pulled me outside and was like, "I got to tell you something," and he just told me as if he just found out. And he's like, "I can't
Right?
let her keep thinking that this is real." So I think I was about 8.
I was probably around the same age, but I was in my dad's red Tahoe.
Where were you when you were
the passenger seat. I remember the street we were driving on.
Where were you when you found out Santa wasn't real?
Yeah, dude, it was hot outside. Like, you remember? It's like hot.
And I asked my dad, "Is Santa real?" And he was like, if you believe it's real, then it's real." And I was like, "Are mermaids real?" And he was like, "Yeah,
No.
if you believe it."
Dude,
But
you're the
that's
fucking
what-
shut her down. You're like, fuck
No.
no.
But I think that's why it's so like in my head, because I was like, "Oh, mermaids could be real. If I believe they're real, that means they're real." And he's like, "Yeah." And I'm like, "Okay."
You did love Ariel. You loved that
I
was your
love-
follow-up
oh my
question.
God.
Was immediately fuck Santa. You're like,
Well,
are they real?
Yeah, are mermaids real? Like I said, my grandparents had a really, really, really big pool. So when I would swim with my legs together.
Me too. I was
Pretending
so
to
into
be a
mermaids
mermaid,
too.
but-
Yeah.
Hell
like
yeah.
that.
I
That
like that.
was, yeah, mermaids were my jam.
I bet you were
Yeah.
a good swimmer, teaching yourself to swim like a fish.
No, you know what happened? My mom was mortified by it. My
You look retarded. You gotta stop that. You can't swim out there like that. You can't do that.
Those insults sound way worse without
Yeah.
the hard. Dude. Like, they're like,
Where are you going? You're retarded. I think there's like how there was a Mandela effect. I think there was an Ariel effect. There's like a whole
I heard it here.
generation
well,
of.
I think that's the Frozen. I think like Elsa is the new Ariel.
You
Yeah.
think so?
Yeah, I
My
think
best
so.
friend loved Ariel, and I didn't want to say that because it just didn't compliment. But I know Ariel lovers.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
runs
Yeah.
thick.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's like
It's a like cult.
A Disney
is,
princess.
yeah.
but
Yeah.
now they actually have they have like even those professions even like
Yeah.
like
Where you could
almost
be
like,
a mermaid.
Yeah.
yeah, you're like
In
pool
Florida,
ring
they have
girls,
those.
you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
You just go into the pool and you go,
Or they do private parties too. You could
and then they
do.
swim back up and they're like, whoa, that was a mermaid. And like, can you give them something to breathe? There's nothing. I don't know. I never had any kind of like Disney aspirations necessarily. It's crazy that like my wavelength of like hearing you guys talk about like, oh, I wanted to be a princess or I wanted to be a mermaid. Like nobody said princess.
I want to be a bear.
Oh, you're like you said something about cooking. I don't know. I wasn't listening. But when you guys were talking earlier, it made me think. No, I don't think I had any kind of Disney. Like I had no mermaid.
But
Like
cartoons, you did. Though.
I used to pretend everything was swords. Everything
That's a
was swords.
fantasy.
So
That's like,
didn't you-
medieval fantasy, right?
Everything was a
Like-
sword or a gun.
But what cartoons did you watch? Because you didn't watch Disney movies. You're right. But
Yeah.
you watched Power Rangers. Did you watch
that's a good point.
Transformers?
That's Power Rangers.
Yeah,
was
you
fucking
can't really
good.
pretend. I could just be like, oh, look at that Transformer doing the thing. Like that was like,
Yeah.
I don't think I had
but
an
you got the
imagination.
toys.
But I Power
you
Ranger.
can't-
I would say Power Ranger. I would
Yeah.
pretend I was a Power Ranger, which
Fuck
was
yeah.
basically just pretend like you have something that turned you into a magical ninja.
Yeah.
We
Yeah,
played
there
Power
you go.
Rangers, and we would throw the stick and be like, "Make my monster grow." I loved playing Power Rangers.
Yeah.
You give a kid, like you said, a can. We had a barrel. You know those 55-gallon drums?
Uh-huh.
My stepdad would let us just get in that thing and roll down the fucking hill.
I
Oh,
played it so
yes.
much. Yeah, played it so much.
Did we ever
trash.
get hurt?
Yeah. That
Oh yeah, because we would go in together and knock heads and shit and like get all
Oh
fucked
my
up. And
gosh.
we would put the bunny in there. I know we were bad with the bunny. We had an outside bunny. My parents were pissed that my grandma, my dad's mom, had gotten me a
Yeah.
bunny without permission.
We had
like,
an
My
outside bunny too,
grandparents
yeah.
did that.
and that
Yeah.
by,
Hamster.
to spite her,
Another trend.
we had a fucking pig in the house, and they still put the bunny outside.
Oh.
That's how much my mom wanted to fucking spite this bunny. But it was like a glorified little house. Like it was like a
Yeah.
little wood house.
Yeah.
But what happens to an outside bunny? They grow tusks
Yeah.
and like
Uh-huh.
they're fucking shit. Like they didn't clip his claws. Like I
Well,
was
if you
fucking
don't hold
5.
them, you can
Yeah.
you can still care. You can still care for them, even if they're living
I was so,
outside.
I was so young.
But
like
you're
I
right.
lost interest.
Out of
in
sight,
it.
out of mind.
Well,
It's
she's
just like,
5.
yeah,
That's
I was a
gonna be the
child.
it's not up
parents.
for you. So like, if you're not the one caring for it, then yeah, they would have to. And if they don't want it,
And
then
that's why she was
Yeah,
pissed.
yeah.
It was like, it's
Yeah.
outside.
And he
it's
would
gonna do
like
its thing.
triple combo fucking punch the shit out of you. You couldn't pick him up. He
Yeah.
turned into like a hybrid
wild
outside.
bunny.
He was a wild bunny.
oh, wow.
My husband's cousin had an outdoor bunny, and every year it ate like a little tree that would grow in the yard. Like it would just eat it, like the whole tree. It's like, oh my god, you know. And then when my dad was growing up, my aunt had an outdoor rabbit, and they said it growled. Like
I
it would
believe
like,
it.
"Brr," you know what I
I
mean?
fucking,
Like-
they're very pissed off. They probably are so mad that they see other bunnies having a bunny life and they're
Yeah.
trapped in this
Yeah.
bunny prison. I should have let Buster go. I named him Buster after. Did you watch Looney Tunes, like Tiny
Yep.
Tunes?
Yeah.
I like that
Buster
one.
Bunny. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I liked Bobby's World. That was my jam too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
Life with Louie. I like that.
Yeah,
little
Same.
cartoon.
I feel like there was. I don't think there was a lot of. Our bunny was named Bugs. Real hack name. But we actually had like a whole little pen out
Mhm.
back. But I think we interacted with it enough that it wasn't feral completely, but it wasn't like crazy out of like maybe you just didn't have it long enough to grow tusks and,
Yeah,
and
might not
fangs and shit. But I remember thinking every time it rained, because it's Florida, it would just be sunshine and then just like torrential downpour or hurricanes or shit like that. And we never brought the bunny inside.
I know it's
I was
fucked
like,
up.
damn,
It's
like-
fucked up.
It's like, is that a pet? Is that a pet or a hostage? At that point?
It's a fucking hostage.
You know what I mean?
What did you feed him? Do you remember? It was like
We
alfalfa
didn't.
pellets.
No, I'm just. We just went out there and ate in front of him. I mean, I don't like. It was weird. I was like, why is this bunny cooler? But we would give him like every once in a while, like vegetable shavings. Like anytime my mom would make salads or cut up cucumbers, she would with like the skins from the carrots or cucumbers. Sometimes like food, like treats, like little things, like almost like chew toys, but for rabbits, like
I don't
little
even
like
know what that
rawhides.
is.
Yeah.
Almost-
It's like dried carrots.
Yeah,
dried
yeah, yeah,
grain
like
and
that shit,
stuff.
yeah.
Oh, I know what you mean. It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
gerbil food.
Yeah, kind
Yeah,
of like
It's
that
hard
shit.
and it's good. That's what
Pebbles, the little water
does
thing.
their teeth.
Okay, yeah,
Like,
that's what
will
files it
wear-
down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
files it down is like those really hard, but it's just vegetables.
So literally, there really is. I don't mean to posthumously make you feel bad about not taking care of the bunny, but there's very little effort. Just throw a couple
And he
shavings in
lived
there.
to like 16.
Yeah,
no,
that-
wait. If I was 4
Oh,
when they
wow.
got him, I was 12. He lived 12 years. And I
Wow.
remember my mom calling me and she was like, Buster's on his way out. You got to like come home. And I
Yeah.
drove home and I held him in the yard. And I'm like, I'm really sorry,
Yeah,
buddy, about
yeah.
your fucking life.
Sorry,
Like,
bro.
your fucking life. Like,
I've done a lot of rifting, bro.
like Dr. Phil once said that like moms will treat their children bad if there's been a breakup or a divorce because they spite because of the fucking bad relationship with the dad. And that's how my mom treated that bunny because my grandma got it. Like
Yep.
she fucking took it out
Yep.
on him.
Poor Buster.
I know, but he did get alfalfa pellets.
Oh, yeah, those- they fucking
they
love that
filled
shit.
his
That's
little
like their
like
catnip.
bowl. Yeah, he
Yeah.
never like. He was very soft when you did get to. Oh, I have this bad memory of us taking him in a blanket and flipping him up in the air and catching him and flipping.
That's
like
really
like
fun.
we were not. Yes, we were not supervised well, and
Right,
we did fucked
right.
up shit
But-
to the bunny.
But like going down the hill in the barrel and doing that shit, like there's a lot of like
You're a kid,
super.
you're not thinking.
But there's like super dangerous shit. Like I played in garbage all the time.
Oh yeah. Yeah,
Every time we
sure.
would go to the landfill, like we would
And
used
we
to
would play when it would flood.
yeah.
And
Anytime
then
it
You were
would
like
flood.
looking for
Go
stuff.
play.
Like, what were you doing? in
No,
there?
it would be like because you go to first of all, it's you could smash things because it was just a big pile of garbage.
Yeah.
And,
Truth.
And we didn't have garbage pickup where we were, so we would go to the dump. We would save the trash up, and then we would put it in the back of the truck and we'd take it to the dump. Or if we were like doing like maintenance thing, like moving or cleaning out a room or something like that, spring cleaning or remodeling a part, like that's the parts where you have to always go to the big fucking landfill. And I would always love either you go to these little sections here that you can drop off trash, like little cubbies. That was cool, but then sometimes they would send you up to like the trash pile. Like, and it would basically be like, I love this area because this is like feels like the most lawless. Like you could do anything here. You could start a fire.
It's like
You could fucking
apocalyptic.
you could
Yeah.
fucking like
Yeah.
smash glass. You
It's
could
Mad Max up
know,
there.
take a TV and just fucking smash it over your head. It's like an outdoor rage room.
Yeah.
So
It was
is there
awesome.
no like is this the back before there was so much surveillance everywhere where like kids could be fucking wandering around? Because isn't there
Oh, no,
like
I would
dudes
go-
out there?
I would go there with like you'd go there but that's the best part. There's people working and you're just like wee
And they don't
smash
even
it.
care.
Yeah.
It's like
Oh, no,
fucking it's
It's
Florida.
Florida. Okay. It's like it's an expression. at
There's
this
not like a
point.
time limit. You pay to weigh in and you pay to weigh out. It's like that's the most like but that mixed with playing in the ditches on the street when they would flood, when it would rain.
There's so much
Like, just-
bacteria
just
and shit. Like we could
back-
have
Dude, it
Yeah.
sounds very bad.
Yeah.
You probably have so many immunity. Do you not get sick?
Not really, not a lot. No.
honestly, we don't get sick that often.
No.
We just recently got COVID.
We
You guys
We
survived COVID
lasted-
recently?
we
Yeah.
Before
lasted.
Manny got it?
Oh wow.
No, I think same
I
time.
think- yeah.
I think
Oh, I didn't
I don't
mean
know
to
if we
throw him
got
under
it
the bus
from
like
him
that.
or if we just got it from the same person and they're not telling. But
Did you do a pod with him during that little window
No,
of time?
No, you
We
guys were at the
should've.
wedding.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
You think you got it from the
fuck,
wedding.
You got wedding COVID. I was with you that whole time. We talked face to face. You were that was the same day.
Huh?
That
No,
day
that
you
was-
were exposed. If it was wedding,
Yes.
yeah, that was Friday.
Right,
We
right,
didn't
right.
start showing
Yours
anything
was
until
like-
Sunday.
yeah, it was like a
Yeah.
slow cooker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because I didn't even have symptoms. So he called us Sunday night, and I was so upset because it was Game 6 of the Stanley Cup, and I was like, "Don't do this right now. It's 9:00 at night. Like we're not doing well in this game." And
Yeah.
but it wasn't over. And Pat was like, "We need to test," and I'm like, "I don't want to test until the game's over." But then I was
You
like,
can't make
"But
me-
I have to open tomorrow." So if I have it, I really need to
You
know
need to
now
find
to
a
be able
cover.
to make, because it's already 9:30 at night. So it's going to be really difficult for me to figure out 5 a.m. tomorrow. So I was like, God damn it.
Could you pause it though and not get any spoilers?
No, like it was just no. I mean, I
Yeah.
guess we
Fuck.
could have done it, but what ended up happening was then I was just distracted. Like I
Gotcha.
had to take the test. I was distracted. I couldn't watch the game. I was upset. And then it said to wait 15 minutes. And the second the liquid hit, it was dark red. And I was like,
You were
got it.
super bug. It was like,
it was like,
wow, and it just exploded. A little
Yeah.
poof came
yeah.
out.
And I was like, you got it.
Dang.
And then I was tired that day, but I had a really long weekend, or a long week. It was a lot of shit at work. And then we had a great weekend. It was fun. So I was like, yeah, I'm tired, but whatever. So I would have gone to work. But then the weirdest thing was I was exhausted. That was the worst symptom. And my left ear was completely clogged.
Fuck.
Oh wow.
Like random. But that was it. I was fine.
What was your symptoms?
Just like congestion, like just nasal congestion mainly. Nothing really else. Not like nothing. Like we're both vaccinated and everything, so it's not a big deal with that kind of shit. But overall, it might have just been a really mild strain of it anyway.
Yeah.
Like it could have been.
Do you think that you would have cruised through those feelings? Maybe the ear thing is a little concerning, but like and not tested if you didn't hear about Manny.
Like, if you
testing
didn't-
Well,
right.
Tuesday I was exhausted. So Tuesday I would have
so-
been like, this is really bad.
Yeah, I would say it's kind of again, that was almost, maybe it's a catch-22, but like we were tired, but we were staying all day in the house watching TV and everything. It was hard to tell for me. Like was it because we were eating like shit and just sitting around the house, or was it because of COVID? But
Yeah.
either way, like it's still 5 days inside, 5 days with the mask outside, and then that was it. And then like now it's kind of like it, but it never really got to a point, except for just thinking like, oh, is it gonna get worse or is it gonna get bad at some point? But no, never really.
Yeah.
Didn't nothing else for me. Like I don't know. Have you guys had it?
I've had COVID once. Honestly, I had like bad chills and shakes, or like not like body aches and
Oh,
everything,
wow.
but that wasn't bad. But when I got the second shot, it was a Friday. I got that shot earlier, and then later at Lager Laughs, and everyone was like, make sure you drink water, like stay hydrated, like you'll be okay for the second shot. And Mark got me and Mark got the shots at the same exact time. So like when because I just put them at the same time. So when he got a second shot, he was perfectly fine. After Lager Laughs, I was walking home and like I was freezing, and it was summertime. It was like it was like
man.
June and everything. And I remember just being like I had to lay in a hot tub just to be like, the moment I got out, I'm like, and like
to get the chills.
oh my, it was the most intense, like, you know what I mean? But it was like the reaction from the shot, and that was it.
Yeah.
And then later on, I got COVID like a couple months later or something like that, and it wasn't even that bad. So it's like, I don't know.
The reason why I asked you that, like, would you have tested yourself, is because I don't know, like a month ago, maybe not even that many weeks ago, I had like a little spell of like tiredness happening and like some back aches. And I said to Mike, like at that weekend, I was like, I just might have had a little splash of COVID and didn't test myself. Like that's probably irresponsible. But like looking back, like I've been really like just tired and like not normal fatigue. And look at our cycles. Like I don't know if you've ever seen that like reel where it's like talking about a woman's period. And it's like week 1 is like the only week you feel good. Like all the other weeks you're fatigued.
Yeah.
So I just if I'm tired,
then it's
I
like
just
current,
PMS.
and then post.
That is true. That is
That's
true.
fucking nuts.
I blame everything on the period.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, I do
But
too.
I mean, I could have very well. And I'm not saying I had COVID. I'm thinking what happens to us as a society of people. So you have antibodies in your system now. You have antibodies from, vaccine or other related.
Right.
When you're going out in these streets and being reintroduced to the virus, you have spikes, is what Dr. Drew. I get all my information from Dr. Drew. Fucking love him.
Yeah.
But like you'll get these spikes of things, and that's not you getting COVID, that's you being exposed. And then you have a couple days where you're out the game and you just your body reacted as the way it should be and like combated
that's true.
it.
I wouldn't, because I asked what Pat was like, should we test? I think we should test. And I was like, we shouldn't test.
Ignorance is bliss. Why do you like?
I literally was saying the same thing too. Like when Mandy's
yeah.
like, "Should I test here?" And I was like, "I don't know." My thing is,
it's a personal decision. I mean, it was the right decision.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, like for work and stuff, like I have to be
absolutely.
manager.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
I could be
like,
a super spreader where you're
and where my store is, there's a hospital and a nursing home across the street. So like, I gotta make sure.
Well, you're very considerate. That's very nice of you to like think about that. Whenever you were on the podcast with Manny. So for everyone, go listen to A Boy in His Fridge. Sarah was on there. Great episode. I loved how Mike and you got to go. And I'm not going to get derailed here, but like whenever Manny was jiving, he sounded normal as fuck. He sounded like he was having a great time.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's like, yeah, guys, I should probably take this test. And I'm like, what happened? Like, why does he need to do it right now? And when I got the behind the scenes with Mike, he was like, yeah, he said he wasn't feeling well. And I'm like, bullshit, he was having a great time. Like, that was just so weird, but I loved listening to it. And then he did like that fun little clip of it, which is interesting. But like, how did you like want to fucking just put a mask on him? Like
well, my thing was, I was like, well, he's right here.
Yeah.
I'm not like, what am I going to be like? A part of me, like I worked a truck stop through the whole pandemic.
Yeah.
Like a part of me was like, I've been definitely in the face of it multiple times. Like I've got the shot. I mean, there's not really much I can do. Like, you know what I mean? You're just kind of like, and they kept apologizing. They're like, I'm so sorry that this, and I was like, I'm probably the best guess that this happened to, honestly. And I checked myself 3 days later. And that was the thing. Anytime, like I did a show over the summer, like during COVID, where one of the workers of the place got COVID. So they're like, oh, everyone took a test. And this was when like I don't think like vaccines were available. So I was thinking like, oh shit, and everything. And my brain, I'm so psychosomatic. The moment you're like, oh, you're sick, I'm like, oh, I'm sick too. Like it don't matter. I'm like, it don't even matter. Like I'm sick.
Very
that's
convinced.
It. I'm very 1 minute. You know what I mean?
I work with a couple of those.
Yeah. You could be all like, hey, you're about to get your period. I go, oh, I got cramps. And like I'm literally
every fucking time she's like, oh, my period's late, and I'm like, well, it's gonna happen now. as soon as you test anything, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
It's like
it happened this morning. I'm 7 days late, and I was like, I just got over being sick. Like, I don't think this is it. And then, and I was like, well, let me just test. And then I test, and then I wiped, and I was like, oh, okay, well, I didn't have to test.
Damn, all your body needed to do was like,
but that was the 5th test I took, because I was like, this is very odd. I have never
You're very
this
regular.
late. Like I may be a couple days ahead, a
Here
couple
and
days
there,
behind,
yeah.
But like I'm like, holy shit! Like after actually no, I think today's day 10. Yes, today's day 10. Just kidding. Because I was like, I'm not going to test until day 7 because that's what happens if I test before day 7. It's always, and then immediately I get my period. I'm like, well, that was just a waste.
Yeah,
so
it seems like the best birth control is a fucking
pregnancy
fucking
test.
pregnancy test.
So then day 7, I was like, okay, I'll test, and it was negative, and I was like, okay. And then I just kept testing periodically throughout like the days and different times because they're like, it needs to be your first pee because it's the most potent and that's where the protein is. Like that's the most accurate test is
That's
first
your most
pee
accurate
of the
pee.
day. Because
know.
it's
Not mine
diluted.
usually. I sit
It's
down for that
not-
one.
It's not diluted.
Yeah.
It's been cooking in you all night.
Right. So it's
Yeah.
just straight like whatever hormones because that's a urban legend to drink a lot of water to test. You're just diluting your urine.
Exactly,
So you're not gonna have an
yeah.
accurate test. So so I did that the last couple of days and it was negative. So I was like, okay, it's just, I've been sick, whatever. And then this morning I was like, all right, well, I did it. I peed in the cup and then put it there and then I wiped and I was like, oh fuck.
You can't be surprised this got to periods.
Yeah.
Like it didn't take us like I don't know
It's
how
only
long
an hour
when
and
we started.
45.
Yeah.
Is that where we brought up the period. But do you remember when I got COVID and I was on
Yeah.
the Zoom with you
Yeah,
guys?
yeah.
And you guys got to see my I answered the phone call to the medical people on
Yep.
speaker. I HIPAA'd myself.
Yeah.
For everyone to see.
Yeah.
And she's like, it's positive. And then they just saw me go into shock. Like
Yep.
I think I saw all the color leave my face. And
Oh
I was
my
like,
gosh.
you know what? I'm really not feeling well. Talk about like
Yeah.
phantom thing. I was feeling just
You
fine.
lost your taste and shit. Like you felt like you lost your taste
Dude.
in that moment.
In that
or like
moment,
after that, you're
I
like,
just
I lost
felt
my
so
taste.
sick. I was like,
Yeah.
you told me I'm sick. I'm fucking dying.
Yeah, it's
I
so
threw
real.
I
And
threw
that
up.
was
That's
in the
how much
beginning
it was
too.
bad.
Like
Yeah.
that's when it was
was
like
real
this
COVID.
is scary.
It was
yeah,
big
like,
COVID. It was the
now it's
first
like
COVID.
okay, I got the flu. Like,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
not. I'm not.
Manny
okay,
says,
whatever.
I'm sorry. I was just trying to be responsible.
I know, and I appreciate it, but
Gosh.
you ruined my night.
Yeah.
Actually,
okay.
you ruined my week. No, I'm just kidding.
And it is hard because you
I
don't know
was
where
fine.
it comes from.
I
Like
got a lot of ice cream.
so the boys down at Church of Satire, they just went and did a show, and all 3 of them got COVID. And
Yeah.
it's like it really is that
It's
contagious.
worse now than the start of the pandemic
Because everyone's out and about.
yeah, because
and
everyone's
everything, yeah.
like
It's
doesn't
worse.
care.
It's worse now in the sense of the amount of people testing positive.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's not worse by any means
The-
because we're
the
still absolutely
fraction-
open and
Yeah.
everyone's alive.
Well, no,
And we
no,
can get
but
tests
the
so
deaths,
easily.
The death rate, that's what like there's hardly any deaths.
Yeah.
For how many people actually have COVID right now, it's the most that they've ever seen. But as far as death, like that's small, and the hospitals are
Yeah.
crowded. So
And
you're
I'm sure,
right.
and I'm sure it's still it could be harmful to older people or sick
Yeah,
people,
yeah.
but
Oh yeah.
But
but
for
if
the most
you're
part, but
if
like a
you're
flu.
in that category, you have to protect yourself. Like do
Yeah.
the best that you can.
Mike only gets a headache when he gets COVID, and I'm like, you
Like,
would
when
never.
he gets it.
I think he's had it a couple times. I'm like, you should test, but he loves that ignorance is bliss. He's like, I don't need to test, but sorry. But he,
so now we know who we got COVID from.
but how much of us are guilty of just being like, I don't fucking drink enough water. This is just a 2-day
Yes,
headache or some
yes,
shit.
yes.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the thing. Like when we go through the questionnaire at work, we have to ask those questions. Okay, so because it says, "Oh, I'm, my body hurts or this or that," and I'm like, "Okay, is this a new or
Yeah.
is this something you felt
Like
before?
allergies.
Like you have a headache, but you call out multiple times because you have migraines. So this headache isn't COVID. If you need to go home, go home, but we're not going to do the 5-day thing, right? Or are we? And it's up to that person.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how do you want to do this?
Yeah.
It's basically
it's
if
only
you test or
you.
not.
It's
Really.
only you that, and I can't say either way. I can't say I need you to go test or don't test.
I've talked to Mike.
It's just up to you. Like,
That's a slippery slope to be in your position.
yeah, right. It's up to you, but I have to kind of walk you through like, okay, how are we doing this?
Yeah.
You talk him out of it. You're like, I fucking need you.
no. I would know. Again, the hospital, like, and that is the knock on wood. But like my store has done really well as
Good.
far as like they call out. I don't want to say they call out frequently, but they're like, hey, I'm just gonna take today, and then I'm gonna see how today
yeah.
plays out, and then I'll call you tomorrow. I'm like, okay, I'd rather be down today, and then this not spread everywhere. Like
it shows that the numbers show for them. If you haven't had a spread,
yeah, no.
that really shows.
Yeah.
This when I got it did end up getting 2 other people, but But I don't know that they got that from me. They could have gotten it from
Yeah.
wherever.
What's
a lot of people have COVID.
What's
right
funny about the A Boy in His Fridge episode is we called it Spanish flu because
now. That's so funny.
whatever war was happening during Spanish flu. I don't know if you could look that up real quick,
Yeah.
Pat. The
Pat
two
on the one
countries, so they were the ones that actually to have the flu, but none of them wanted to call it like, oh, we have a sick news because they were in a war and they didn't want to seem weak.
Yeah.
But it was it's Spain or where they were like, oh, there's a flu here. And so they were the first one to come up with it. Like, or to be like, oh, so that's why everyone called it the Spanish flu.
Oh, that is interesting.
And that's why it was like, oh, well, we don't know where it came from, but man, it was the first one to test. So that's where we pinpointed it. Like, that's why. And Mike was like, yeah, we're calling it that.
Oh,
He's like,
I looked way too deep in it. I was like, it's because he's Puerto Rican and he's sick.
That's what I
mean,
I went.
I thought
Double
it was
entendre,
very,
right?
very clever. I was like, oh, Mike probably said that. That's so funny.
well, I said that after we recorded, and that's when Mike was like, yeah, we're naming it Spanish flu. He's
Yeah,
like, that's
very
the name of
smart.
the title. And I was
think
like,
World War One, is that right? Does that sound
yeah, it
familiar?
had to be. Yeah, whatever.
It says World War One and influenza collaborated. The war fostered disease by creating conditions in the trenches of France that some epidemiologists believe enabled the influenza virus to evolve into the killer of global proportions. So it's basically like that's the same idea as like the Black Death or the Black Plague or whatever was caused by rats. Essentially,
Yeah.
it's the
Yep,
same idea.
yep.
It's just like gross
Yeah,
like conditions
yeah.
and then like
It just-
spreading throughout
yeah.
from that. So basically the that was 1918 it looks like, and the influenza pandemic virus, World War One. So basically being cold and damp in a hole and
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
having any
Not
kind of
great.
being essentially alone. Like those soldiers could have definitely made it in alone, I think.
yeah,
I
probably.
think
Yeah.
they would have been fine. But soldiers nowadays,
They're like, just give me some rolling papers and a little bit of tobacco,
Yeah, they're like, hey,
a lantern.
Yeah, I mean, they would come out with a lot of diseases and
Yeah.
barely be alive for sure. But like as far as
But they survived.
Yeah.
They survived that. As soon as they got on as soon as they got on the plane home, they died. But
Yeah.
they survived war.
but that I think that's so I don't know, like I wasn't too concerned really. Like I freaked out a couple times, but not really like
I wasn't concerned of my person, just work.
I was just
Yeah.
I was a little nervous about like if it could get worse or if I would lose sensation, like smell.
I didn't
or
even
taste or
think of
anything,
that. I was my brain was completely preoccupied with work. Like, what the hell? Because it's just sudden. And the thing that sucked was I had to HIPAA myself because I was like, okay, I'm out for 5 days. This is your point of contact. Like I didn't say it, but I was like, this is who you have to talk to. They know what's
they
happening.
know what's going on.
So, and just work is busy, and for me to lose 5 days unexpectedly like that is like, oh my God, this is going to ruin me. But
yeah.
so I was very anxious about that, but it all was fine.
So we'll start wrapping up in a little bit. Well, Casey's going to come back up in a little
Yeah.
bit. But in the meantime, do you have any shows or any places you want people to head to catch you, Sara Cartwright?
Oh, well, if you're looking for something to do tonight, there's Lager Laughs comedy open
Lager
mic.
Laughs.
Check out. It looks like we're gonna have a big sign up list because it looks like all the comics that would come normally are coming back from vacation or
Oh,
certain.
nice. Yeah,
so
yeah,
like
yeah.
I
All
think
sick
I'm gonna
with
have a good.
COVID.
Yeah.
Hey,
Say
COVID.
$5.
Hey, COVID.
And a deal with a bear, whatever. There's that. And then I have a whole bunch of shows coming up. Wednesday I'll be in Oregon, New York. Oh hey. Oh.
That's how we wrap up the show.
I brought him up here. I was like, you're gonna be on your best
Oh.
behavior, right?
Hey, buddy.
And then the first thing he does, he
He-
breaks the fucking rules. What did he see?
I love your face here. You're like,
I was like, I saw all the drinks
Yeah.
going down.
No, it's fine. That's why we have the ones with
That's
the lids.
why that's why there's lids.
There's
Yeah.
lids.
Yeah.
See?
And this is empty.
Stanley proof.
yeah,
Okay.
just a whole bunch of shows coming up. Always check out my Instagram at What Is Sarah. I always post it there and everything. And also my podcast, A Feature Like This.
A lot of fun.
You guys have been on
Yep.
since the last time I was here. Girl, I'm getting you on there soon.
We
so.
did As
that'll be
Above,
fun.
So Below. That's
That
one
was
of my
such
all-time
I got
favorites.
so many good reviews on that. Like
It's-
everyone's like, "That's a good episode."
It's a great
or
fucking
everything.
movie.
It
If
is.
honestly, if people can just like, if people just see the movie because we did the episode. Like somebody that hasn't seen it
Yes.
watches it.
Yeah.
It's like it's a quality fucking movie. I love
Yeah.
that movie, and I hope I didn't oversell it.
And no, I think we
we
reviewed
did.
it so well.
Yeah.
I
That
feel
was
like we
like
did.
to the point.
Very
T.
thorough.
So always check out new episodes, new guests, returning guests, always coming out.
Yeah.
You should reshare those type of things. The way your platform is and the way this one is, you could always go back and
Yeah,
just
these are
reshare
kind of
It's ever-
episodes
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
because
Yeah.
it's not
That's why
so
I
relevant.
tried doing
Yeah.
that now. I'm trying to do like Feature Friday.
Also, check.
you know.
That's
Man,
smart.
is that this weekend at
What is
the
that?
Church of Satire? I was
Oh
gonna.
yes,
give
yeah.
Manny a
You want to
plug.
plug them
Oh,
guys? Yeah. So
yeah.
Manny
Manny's
and
doing
Mike.
the headline Saturday.
And then Mike is doing Friday.
Tonight.
Yep,
Tonight.
tonight.
Oh yeah, that's
Today
tonight.
is Friday.
So
Yep.
if you're in Hanover tonight, go to Church of Satire. Check out those two gents. And then they'll be flip flopping tomorrow night. If
Yeah.
you're there tomorrow night, you get to see the same gents, different order.
Jared McCallie is hosting. Also very funny.
Well, Jared's gonna do Saturday night, and
Okay.
I keep thinking of everybody's Instagram handles. Do you have that problem with your brain? Richard Awesome. What's his name? Matt Blank.
Matt. Okay.
I couldn't stop thinking of Richard.
I do the same thing. I'm like, why? I always
Couldn't
want to
think
call
of
him Richard.
Yeah.
But he's
What,
not-
what
it's-
is
it's
Richard?
Matt.
Is that for Dick? Dick's
Maybe.
awesome.
Dick's awesome.
Is it like a
Oh,
subliminal
maybe.
message or whatever?
He got us.
So what did
Go
so
see that guy.
do you talk to Joey Tepedino that often? Like, is that Red Horse show going to keep going on? Like, is he going to keep
I would-
booking that for?
They were talking about
I
doing another
messaged
one, yeah.
Cisco, that's the guy.
Mhm.
And he
Found the guy.
I was like, let me know, like I gotta line up and see what's going. You even mentioned like maybe like a Sunday open mic too. That would have been great. Like I know a lot
remember.
of Reading comics that would love to come out. So
Yeah.
And that
you
would do
know.
well. Like Sunday is one of those days where people can donate it to working on the craft,
Yeah.
going to the gym. He is so solid. When I was holding him, he
Aw.
was trying to resist me, and
He
I was
works
like
out.
squeezing him tighter. And
Yeah.
he locked all of his muscles. He started flexing.
Yeah,
I could
I'll
feel how
probably
strong he was.
so
He
muscular.
is a lord.
He so Casey, do you have any plugs or anything like that you'd like to send people
sure.
to?
When I was in the rookies parking lot, this lady walked up and told me I'm a white witch. So that's the new me. She was like, "Let me see your forearm," and like based on this beauty mark, and it's close to my wrist, I'm a fucking witch.
Nice.
Do I have any?
So I've been moving forth with witch energy ever since she said that.
Nice. Cursing anybody?
No, I'm powerful. Good witch. Live in the light type
Oh,
thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Not a Wiccan.
It was just such a weird experience, but I've been really digging the shows lately and just trying to live in the moment. Like I do have some things. I have a show in 2 weeks at
Okay.
Fratelli's. That is the one
Oh
year.
yeah, we're on.
You guys
I
are
know,
on
yeah.
that one, yeah.
What's nice is I don't want to be like I got Ron the room, but like I got Ron that space.
It's okay.
Yeah.
Brag.
and
Brag.
and it's not a brag, but it's like oh god. So I'm not going to go there, but like if people see me on reoccurring shows, like Ron just hooked it up really just because I gave him the space, and that's nice of him. And I really do want to see other people on some posters though. Like I'm coming up on a nice little break, and it's like I want to see my friends eat too. Like we all need some crumbs. Like who's hungry?
I'm hungry.
I really am feeling like
I'm
that.
gonna be on Fratelli's in September. I think he's doing
Good.
it like your anniversary show. I think that's how he was.
That's the
doing
one
it.
I think that we were on.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Were you
Yeah,
on
that
like the
was-
very first one?
Yeah, so
right?
I did the first one because like I know
We
the
got it.
bartender. Yeah, and this is good comedy news. When I did Champs not too long ago, the guy was like, "I'm going to reopen comedy back here
Oh,
to do a
nice.
monthly showcase,"
Cool.
and I was like, "I know just the guy." So I hit up Ron because Ron loves those kind of problems. I can't book shows. I
No.
can't deal
Yeah.
with the
It's
rejection of people not coming to them.
Yeah.
Like
It's hard.
It's
yeah.
hard work, and then you want to have a really great like rotating lineup. And so
Absolutely.
it's hard to like try to book it, and like it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
but that show, the Fratelli show, is fun. That you did it before, right? Did you
Yeah.
do a guest spot there?
Yeah, I did a back in September. I think I did it.
Oh, okay.
And I'll be back in September this year again.
nice.
That's awesome.
That
I
is a good
watched-
one.
I watched this guy go on after Kenny Robb, and I was like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't wish that on my
I remember
fucking
that night.
enemy. Like, and it was like a good show, but it was like, I'm sure that Ron is navigating how to do those kind of lineups too, because like even I hope this doesn't sound like shit talking, but he had me go on, and then he had Jibba Jab go on, and I was like, you should have Jibba Jab go on and warm this audience up. Like, I'm way too serious, like, with my material, whereas Jibba
Yeah,
Jab
it's
is
fun.
a crowd
Yeah,
warm up
yeah,
type. Like,
yeah.
he's so much fun.
He literally does loosen people up.
He
for-
does,
Yeah.
he does.
He
And, like,
does, yeah.
his energy almost didn't work as well after me just talking about fucking sex swings and shit. He's just kind of, you know, coming out and
Yeah.
feeling the room. I don't know. And then he did that thing with Kenny, and I was like, these are the learning curves that we do. Like, it was our first show there.
Yeah.
You know, so we didn't really.
That's another thing when you're putting on show, and I learned this, and you know what's so funny? Like me and Ron, like we're almost like I'll hit him up like, and we'll talk like about producing shows and everything. And even like Mike Peters, like all the people who do put on shows regularly,
Mhm.
like it is like I saw like Ron had like a stage stand or something like that. He like a
Like
platform.
pallet thing,
Mhm.
Yeah, and I was like, oh my god, I've been looking for one of those. Like, where'd you? He sent me the link and
Yes.
everything. You know what I mean? Like it's like
not
we're all like,
competitive, yeah.
yeah, it's not competitive. Like we're all like working together. And
We have to
everything.
support each other.
And he'll be like, "Hey, can you host a show for me?" I'm like, "Yeah, I got it." And then I know if I ever needed him to host something, like he got me. Like, I don't know. It's like weird. It's like a like. we're
I
the
wish
same
I wish
energy.
there would be less comedic rivalry. I wish we could have
Well-
like another comedy scene try to go against us, so all of us can come together as a
like the
unit.
Avengers
Yeah,
Yeah, we
Endgame.
need like a comedy feud so we can love each other, because like we
I
need
thought
to
about
support
that.
each
I
other.
thought about organizing one as a grappling contest against competing other cities for like having Central PA versus like Philly
Yeah.
versus Baltimore versus whatever. But I was also like, I actually had this thought during the most recent roast battle. I was one of the judges. Manny asked me to return as one of the judges for the second roast battle that they put on at the Comedy Zone,
Mhm.
and I told him, I was like, because of how the first one went, where it just not a lot of people I think knew what to expect and didn't prepare a ton. I was like, I'm going to try to write a ton of jokes. I actually ended up discovering I like writing roast jokes now, not just that I can do them, but I actually kind of like it. It's cool. But the fact that like I think that after people are eliminated from the roast battle, they're like, I'm eliminated. And then they just want to talk about why they should have won, or why the judges are wrong, or why it's fixed, or why it's anything else. Whether they're joking or not. Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like it's crazy, because it's like, why aren't you helping the other comics beat the guy that beat you? Why aren't you
helping him with
them?
little
Write some
tags and
jokes with
things.
them.
Yeah,
Give them
yeah.
some of your jokes that you weren't able to continue to use.
Oh, I love that.
And that's the thing, is like, that was the telling point of like, you can say that you didn't succeed because of this, because of that, because of this, instead of just going like, I fucked up and I didn't do anything good. If I want to prove that I'm funny, I'm going to give them some jokes, because it's like, it's saying like, maybe you didn't say the right ones. I know I fucked up with the jokes that I told when me and Manny were doing a roast. I've done it. We all could do it.
Yeah.
But the prize is you get a fucking hosting weekend and a $20 gift card for Boomerangs.
It's really just bragging rights.
It's
at the
really
end
just
of the day.
bragging.
Yeah.
So it's like it's supposed to be a friendly competition of busting balls. We're all supposed to be friends. That's why this is kind of fun. And it's funny. You're not supposed to get hurt. You're not supposed to get sad or upset or blame anybody, because it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
So like I wanted to say that for sure. I think the part of it is there's no like the community part of it, where they say, hey, here's that palette fucking
Mhm.
link. Here's the
Yeah.
blah, 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 is the same energy we need all the way through the
Yeah.
whole time. Like,
Yeah, why
it's
why
not
does
just-
it get stink on it? It's
Yeah.
like, if like I noticed it personally getting booked on shows that people were less of a fucking whatever that might
Yeah.
be.
But no, I think that's but my point is like, not to say like to be shit talky or to be like,
Sure.
any other mushroom.
The drama.
But I just want it to be like known that like it's available. It's possible. It's literally just that.
Yeah.
It's saying like, when it's things that are like, hey, how do you do this thing? Not like, hey, I've been looking for one of those. Like, that's the thing. You're putting in the work. He sees that you're putting on shows. You're putting on things. It's not like, hey, give me what you got.
Yeah.
Let me know what you have. You know what I mean?
I know
There's
you
and there's a
mean, yeah.
difference. So I feel like it's just a lack of, like, it's kind of sucks. I know there's a weird, like, serious note to end on, but I feel like that's part of it. It's like the community. Come on.
It
help
is
each
the
other out.
community, and you can get so much more fulfillment out of what you just described than
Yeah.
shitting on somebody, or just like, I don't know, what's the
I get a
age-old saying?
bigger swath of guests. Like, if we're all friends, like,
Yeah.
how I'm ending these shows now is I'm asking guests, Not you don't have to say it on air, and that's not the thing. That's not the part of it. But I'm asking guests to suggest the next guests
Oh,
because
that's fun.
legitimately, I need
okay.
you to say something nice about somebody else.
No, it is.
You know what I mean?
I've
You got to
told
pick
other-
somebody that you think is of value.
I've sent people your way. Did Hal Kramer talk to you about coming on and talking about you guys have a lot in common and you're not that
I don't know.
you live in a parallel you're close but you're not there as far as friends,
We
right?
do live close, yeah. He lives close near. He lives nearby. He hasn't approached me. I don't think about being on the podcast yet, but I'm sure at some point he will. But there's still situations where like that's the kind of thing of you want to have the dialogue and you want to find out more about people. That's what the roast joke is supposed to be. Not like, oh, your clothes are dumb. Like it's like, yeah, well, what? You see these people every week.
Yeah.
How do you not know them?
Hey, I'll say this: at the first roast battle, I went against Ron, and Ron brought up my dead cat, and we still hug at the end of the night.
Right.
All right, you know what I
Right.
mean? Everyone's all like, "Why did I lose?" Shut up. All right, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
So
And I told Ron, I go, "Ooh, you're so lucky. That was a great joke." I'm like, because I would have been so sad.
that's why he did the palette thing. That's why I was like, I feel bad. I'm gonna send her the link.
Yeah.
I made fun of her cat. But
it is rough. I've actually been avoiding the roast because I don't think I can handle getting my feelings hurt.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's
I
why I
get
avoided it for a long time.
Yeah, I don't
and
know.
and I felt like I was gonna be too mean or too specific with the jokes.
Sure.
And I was like the first couple rounds, I was like, "Ew." And then I started like for this one, I was like, for every person on the bracket, I want to write at least one joke.
Mhm.
And I was like, oh, this is fucking way easier. I think
Yeah.
I just wasn't good enough at that point.
And
And I don't think enough people are willing to admit that I didn't work hard enough or I wasn't good enough to do well here.
You've got a good head on your shoulders because you and like other people in the community should find what gives them joy. Like you said, like
Yeah.
the roast joke writing and like, getting out of the other things that aren't so much giving you joy. Like that's what this is all about.
Yeah, if I'm getting like hung up on like being kind of bored with doing stand up, or I'm like, I'm not doing the shows that I want to do, or I'm not.
Well, and our kind of same wavelength is if we can do what, like, the amount of money we want to make is that we can do the things that we want to do.
Mhm.
So what
Yeah.
like
As simple as that.
like it doesn't have to be we're making millions of dollars. Like it's like we just want to live comfortably.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm
And
not
whatever
I'm not a
extent, like,
grind guy. I'm not out there on the
right, like,
grind.
he wants to do comedy, like he wants to make a living and a career out of comedy, but whatever aspect that is.
Yeah. And I'm willing to work at it, and I am.
Yeah.
But it's like one of those things of like, just because I don't do other people's work, I feel like I don't garner the respect that I personally feel like the work
Yeah.
I've put in deserves.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So that was like the most fucking. I feel like that was the most, what is it, political way to say that without sounding like I think I'm better than a lot of people I see on shows. But
You said it nicely.
That's it.
No, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
it's not everybody, but there's certain aspects of like, man, I feel like but it's also like perception is reality in a lot of cases. With
Yeah.
this, from what I'm learning, a lot of that, and that's fine. That's just. But if we have the ability to do it any way we want, I'm gonna do it the way I want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I feel like. Do you have any plugs? No plugs. But you can see me trying to do my best at Carlisle at the Castle Rig Wine Shop. That's going to be on the 16th. That's this Saturday, tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Today is Friday the 15th, guys.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Shit, we should watch the movie. Harrisburg for Shit in the Hat. Mike O'Donnell, I pointed to you because Mike O'Donnell, the young man who you're seeing at the time,
Mhm.
The young man that's courted you.
your beau.
Why did
Post
I don't want to derail your plugs.
Please.
What did his post mean when he said my magic 8-ball is like sitting on a bag of cocaine with a top hat? And I'm like, do I know my
No,
boyfriend?
My
Like,
Magic
what
8
is
Ball,
that?
It was like my Magic 8 Ball has a top hat. I think he was trying to say it's a bag of cocaine with a magician's hat on it.
And I kept thinking about shit in a hat. I'm like, I looked way too deep, and I'm like, I don't know this man.
Write it on the
I
card.
don't know what that even fucking means.
Write it
Like,
on a card and give it to him for the first
there you
card.
go.
yeah.
Say,
What
does that
do
mean?
Mike O'Donnell jokes mean?
Absolutely.
Oh my god, that's going on the card for sure.
Yeah.
Please explain Mike's jokes. But yeah, Shit
That'd be
in
the
a
best
Hat.
if he got that one too.
Well, you can make that happen.
Yeah.
Also, New Cumberland at Fratelli's on the 29th, like you had mentioned.
That'll be fun.
We'll be doing that show, as well as Lancaster on the 14th of August.
That's a nice little summer run. You guys
Yeah.
have summer shows.
It should be fun. I think it should be fun. I think those are the shows that, like, again, those are ones that I'm like, yeah, I want to do those. I think they're fun lineups. They're cool, and like I think overall, I'm learning more about like the discipline of comedy, and I think like the actual like joke writing, like writing that stuff out, like that's pretty cool. So I'm excited.
Nice.
We had an overall theme today about like dying and things. I do have to tell you, on the way here, I watched like a catastrophic blowout. Has that ever happened to you, where like a tire fucking blows up in front of you on the car?
Just recently.
Yesterday.
On the turnpike.
No, Wednesday.
Yeah.
You had it this week? Me too. So on the way here, it was a truck pulling a flatbed trailer, and one of those tires on that trailer thing in the middle of it bursted. And I watched that trailer go like this and like that. And thank God there was nobody in the left lane. And I had enough traveling distance, like 2 vehicles, and I start braking, and it's scary because you look in the rear view and you're like, is the person behind me?
Yeah.
Seeing this happening? Like, it's very scary. And I watched him like safely get to the side, but whenever the wheels lock up, it fucking leaves those like treads on the ground. Like anytime I see those treads, do you like paint the picture in your mind? You're like, oh, a death almost happened here.
I saw one.
I'm like, that this was a scary moment happened right here.
You always see it going towards the guardrail.
Yep,
you know what I mean? And it stops at the guardrail. I'm like, is that where it ended?
I've seen it where the guardrail hadn't been fixed yet and it was like mangled. So you could see it, like you just see the whole
You could see the
scene.
story.
Yeah, you do see that.
Exactly what happened.
I fill in a lot of blanks. I'm like, oh, that's a bad day.
I saw one the other day that there was like, the sets of tracks, and it was like, like they're both like this, like they're both like, it looked like somebody just like went like this with the back of the car, and then straight. So I was like, okay, maybe this was them hauling ass. Maybe it was somebody getting out of a parking ticket, or not a parking ticket, speeding ticket.
That's a fun story.
Or parking ticket.
Yeah.
But we had it where we were driving on the turnpike behind an 18 wheeler, and I was in the left hand lane and they were in the right hand lane, and I was passing, but just not like hauling ass next to them. But I was behind them still like this.
Oh, fuck.
And they're back, like probably inside right tire, I think. I don't think it was the outside one. Was it?
It was the back.
Right outside?
Right outside.
Facing
'cause
your
I
car.
could see it. No. So I could see it. So it was on the passenger side.
Okay.
Back tire.
And it was like, it looked like it obviously had burst, but it was like kind of like rolling around on the thing.
On the
rim. Yeah. So she's like pointed it out. I was like, oh shit. And I sped up and got past
You
it.
make a decision?
Yeah.
As soon as I got past, I did the thing like you said. I looked in the rearview mirror, and when I did that, I saw the tire roll off of it and roll right in front of the car that had taken my spot. Because there was a car behind him that was like, oh, I'll pass him too.
Sure.
And when he went to do it, the tire went like that right past them, and they went and went right behind them.
Like a frogger.
Yeah. But the truck never stopped.
Oh.
It kept going. It's probably still going right now. With no tire on the back. It's fucking crazy.
That's why it has so many wheels, right?
Yeah.
Just keep going.
Do you need like what are you gonna do? Do you pull over? You don't
He
need a
didn't
tire.
even slow down. I don't even think he knew that happened.
He was like listening to Joe Rogan all loud.
That's probably Shane.
Like,
He's like, oh, I'm in central Pennsylvania. Let's listen to that Shane.
No,
Hey,
that
tire.
shit is. It does make you like those little Cat 9 Live feelings.
Yeah,
Like you're like,
yeah.
oh,
Oh, we
that's
just-
one chink off the
Yeah,
chain.
yeah,
Like,
yeah,
it's
yeah.
fucking scary. Gosh.
I saw that, and it felt like it was definitely like a Final Destination thing.
Oh,
my-
That's crazy. So
You're welcome.
yeah, you saved our life.
I
Great.
did.
Well, you
Sweet. No, that's very.
Like
What would have
my
happened
reaction
if you
time.
didn't speak up? You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
you sped up.
That's what it was.
Thank God you accelerated, Pat. You really saved the
Yeah,
day.
you made that decision. I just made you aware that, like, hey, that
It
tire's
was
about to go off.
my
Yeah. Do you
driving.
But it
brake or
was
do you
your- no,
accelerate?
he
Yeah.
accelerated. He's like, let's get the
You
fuck outta
guys,
here.
fucking
teamwork,
driver.
burn notice right there.
That's how we got this.
We're all synced up now.
Solidly. Yes, sorry, I started this morning.